Know you got a hold of me like I never knew. Feeling that chemistry between me and you. Cause you've been on my mind all day and making moves all night. What you gonna do with me? Whatever you want to. Take five, coming hard to explore ya. The wrist and the chills to your veins. One touch and a look and it's over, just a taste. You know I wanna love ya. Yeah, I like it how you do. You ain't like no other. I can't get enough of you. Pull me closer, skin to skin. Make me feel alive. I wanna love ya. Yeah, I like it how you do. There's no one like you. 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 You've exceeded all my expectations. When I'm without you, I'm losing patience. More than just someone, you're everything I want. Something about this love, I just gotta say. You know I wanna love ya. Yeah, I like it how you do. You ain't like no other. I can't get enough of you. Pull me closer, skin to skin. Make me feel alive. You know I wanna love ya. Yeah, I like it how you do. There's no one like you. There's no one like you. There's no one like you. There's no one like you.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Pro League Season 0. We are here with the final Playday of Cash Out. It's going to be very exciting. I am your host, Jerry the Music Man. I am joined by the wonderful STN, a guest from over on NA. Very excited to have such a prolific player as yourself, STN, here. And I've just noticed, this is the first time we've seen each other. We've got matching headphones. Hell yeah.
Good taste, good ohms. What ohms
Yeah.
are yours? Mine are a nice 250.
Oh wow, I've only got 80.
That's
You're rocking
okay. That's
all
okay.
the ohms.
They're loud. That's all you need to know.
Good. All right. Well, SDN, we've got a lot of stuff going on over here in EU that may be a little bit different to NA. So I think the first thing we should do is just throw up our league standings as they are and see what's going on. We've got 4 teams ready to go for Group A, and those teams are Amos Red, NTHX, Saints 1 and Zesties, some of the best teams in EU, and we'll get to see that in just a moment. We've got some tech moments going on right now, but yeah, they are definitely teams to watch. Amos Red, a Telco's team, definitely one of the sort of big hitters, and currently top of the standings in EU.
And I believe the only bow user that I've seen in PHL.
Yeah, you've got
Feros.
Yeah, Feros is a real, or Feros is a real lover of that bow. Here we go. So this is the NA standings. We'll get the we'll get the EU standings up in a moment. But yeah,
we just wanted to flex Brick's the points real quick.
Now you can see why we got SCN over here. Yeah, so Bricked currently just, like, there's almost no danger for you over in NA, but we've got Amos Red, who maybe have the risk of losing one of those top 2 spots today, followed closely by Amos Blue. So the rest of this group, NTHX, Saints 1 in 4th, NTHX down in 9th, and the Zesties, one of my favourite team logos in the whole of Pro Hubs, sitting in 8th right now.
That is, I've never seen that picture before. That is a picture. That's probably my favorite one out of all the teams, besides the Brick logo, of course. I mean, that was a job and a half.
The Brick logo is, yeah, I can see the love and effort that went into the Brick logo, definitely. All right. Well, I was planning on talking through the playoff structure, but I know that we've got our teams waiting in the wings, and now that I've got a player sitting next to me, I don't know how long I feel like it's worth making them wait. I feel like there's the extra guilt sort of sitting with me.
No, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. It's when is it going to happen? I hope everything in production side's going well. Hope things are going well for the Burrito and everyone behind the scenes. But for the most part, it's just trying to stay locked in and just hoping that nothing goes wrong once you're in that flow state, and once you're in those games that you just keep getting kills in. It's always a good time.
Well, let's see if any of those teams can achieve that flow state today. I really do like that point you make. Let's get ready to head on in to our first match, which has been chosen by STN for today. We're going to be heading to Skyway as our first map for every group today. So yeah, Skyway, very exciting map. Probably the map that brings out the most long-range gunfights out of the entire pool, and I think aesthetically just one of the coolest looking maps in the whole game. We can see all of chat going off here. Carnifex in today, I believe that would be in place of Ferios. Unfortunately, you're not going to get to watch him.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So,
and we are on Horizon. I did say Horizon. Not Sky.
You said. I think you said Sis. Did you not say Sis Horizon? I thought you said Sis. Did I say Skyway? Ah, whatever.
Potentially. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Still have the long sight lines and the short on this. You'll see a lot of MP5 usage, and I see a model in the kill feed as well. But now we're gonna have, it looks like Zesty's going up against, who's that? Amos Red. A nice little pad over, getting that back spawn, so they are going to be at that disadvantage. That minigun is just shredding person. One of the few miniguns I've seen on EU. A lot more NA miniguns than EU. That fight's going to be a very quick one and done, instant pad on, and that's over with.
Yeah, NA has sort of been really the flag bearers for the minigun, and it's taken a bit of time to kind of translate over here. But like you say, you know, Perzon arguably one of the better heavies over here on this side of the pond, and he's making it work. Nolly goes in for the finishing blow on Mickey. That's that model, in case you were sort of wanting an introduction to the model. It's basically only Pepe that plays it at the moment. But he does work with it. He makes it look better than the Cerberus sometimes, which is difficult to do.
That's very difficult to do. Now, this last patch, a little bit to a nerf to a Cerb, not too much. You're still going to have the same TTK against most offensive pressure. The light not being able to get one shot, you are going to have to throw in a melee because that afterburn is not going to tick them. It only hit them to 141. So you're going to have to throw in that melee. But the model really using that range right here, eliminating Mickey at the bottom floor, does get traded out by someone, but we're going to get the nice EU. Ooh. Barricade's gonna be getting this hand res right here in a 1v1 situation, and we're gonna see both heavies getting their reset right now. And on, I believe, the medium, and the medium's gonna fib the light. Very good choice on who to res. And that's why you don't res the light.
Yeah, especially into the winch and the sledgehammer. That is brutal, and the mere presence of the onrushing Nolly is enough to send Emilian away. PRN getting the finishing blow there, and of course they have the Pepe getting the finishing blow there. No, PRM from range. He showed up the light. Interesting. Anyway, the coin works out for them. We've got some trades going on the other side of the map here. It's left only Perzon in a 1 versus 2. He does manage to melt through Airshoe, but is taken out. There's a late coin there. Carnifex coming in maybe to try and win the 1v2 himself. He spots the res coming through behind that barricade, but can't finish off Velo. I think at this point he's got to try and go for that deny, but Stjopper is more than equal to it. Great heads-up play, reading the movement. He was, you know, facing an invis there, and he managed to get it done. Etelko just a little bit too late to the party there. Oh, wait, no. Hold on.
No,
he was on time.
He gets the stop. It. He has an opportunity, but that winch going to be, hopefully, stopping him. He does stop him enough to get the cash box. He did not have enough time.
It would have been maybe, yeah, the closest of calls, but he judged it very cleanly there. You're right, he didn't have enough time. So great play from Etelko. And great play from someone who we pop over to see wiping the team. That's a 3-piece with cheesy chips.
Yeah, having that sledge, winch, and model, you really want to keep things close range. So having that point out in the middle of nowhere can sometimes be at a disadvantage. That's why you see him winch it closer. But it wasn't close enough for the buildings to provide a lot of comfort for that model to stay in. So he is going to have to be pushed out and is not going to be able to hit the 4-tap on the heavy.
No, he is not. And we see right now the latest addition to the finals, the healing canister. I'm glad to see this after the Valentine's Day event a while ago. I think it's a really cool and interesting thing. It gives an area of effect heal over a long period of time.
I believe it was the Chinese New Year that it was introduced in.
Yes, you're right. It wasn't the... Was it the Chinese New Year? The Valentine's Day was like a time
bomb,
wasn't it?
Yeah. Now we just call now we have blueberries. So they're great.
Blueberries, fantastic. I love. You see, this is the player insight that I don't get. All right, someone once again continues reign of terror there as they manage to wipe out NCHX, and we hop on over to the other catch out now. Airshoe doing bits, taking out Carnifex, and that is also a team wipe as the Zesties successfully defending their vault as they get it started straight away.
Now I know Carney hasn't been in the comp scene fairly recently because of Mauser not being a heavy anymore. He's just, I believe he's playing Arc Raiders right now, but good to see him back. Good to see him, you know, filling in here for, I assume, his friends, and hopefully we see them do well today. I mean, they won their first box at the, you know, very short amount of time, and let's see how well they continue to do in these next 4 games.
Yeah, Carnifex always has been a talented player, and he made his Pro Hubs debut on Wednesday. It was an impressive individual display, but it seemed as though the Zesties, or Aimers Red were lacking some of the team play that they've displayed throughout the season. So having an extra few days will make a massive difference, I would imagine.
And a huge RPG coming out. Huge opening damage onto that sledge. He's going to be poked into the corner, having 10 seconds until his regen pops. He has to wait. The light is going to go down. He's going to try and get a counter RPG. Drops them on the floor, and that sledge is going to be able to one-shot the heavy. Let's see if he can get that winch onto that medium, or if he will let him drop under res, potentially. But no, he shoots him jumping over the barricade, hitting really nice shots, dropping him, and now it's a 2-on-1, and that Scar is going to put in work in this close range. You wouldn't expect it, but outmaneuvering and out DPSing the Sledge right there, doing as much as he could to win that fight, and it paid off.
Airshi was one of these very impactful medium players that we don't see too many of in EU. Honestly, him and Atelko are the ones that really stand out. Noah X as well in that sort of moniker, but really, yeah, they can outfrag their lights quite frequently, and you love to see it, especially when you have that sort of distinctive medium support role that's often sort of peddled a lot of the time. He can get up there with the numbers as well as everyone else. At the moment, Cash Out looks like it's going to be successfully defended by Saints 1. That has been winched way out into the distance. It would be suicide to go anywhere near it at this point. So Telco will not. They will simply hold position and maybe place them for some frags on the transition to this final wave of vaults. As the Zesties get spawning right on top of one have already tapped it over in the corner of the map.
And we're gonna have, it looks like Aimers Red getting high ground over this box. This is what you always want in virtually any video game. You always want to go top down 90% of the time to make sure you have that overarching head shot on everybody else below you.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Super Mario Bros. Like literally every game, you want the high ground.
You want to land on somebody. That's what you want to do.
Exactly, you got to Goomba stomp those players, even in FPS. Carnifex taking out Emilian, and that's going to really stunt Saints 1's approach to wherever it is they want to go. At the moment, Saints 1 can play control. They are up in the top, but Zesties have managed to plug one of those cash out boxes, so there will be some action towards the end. Aimers Red have been left to their own devices here and grab a vault and plug it all the way over in A. They won't be that far behind the pace, so we'll turn our attention to B right now, where there is a bit of a scuffle. And oh wow, great RPG coming out from Noli, taking out his job there. Yeah, and follows up with a sledgehammer onto Velo as well. Eshu does manage to res his light, but this is a pretty rough situation at the moment. They need to recuperate.
And it looks like a steal's gonna go on from the last place team, NTHX. That is the sledgehammer that we saw a little bit ago. Let's see if they can hold on to this. This does net them second. No, I believe this is still third, even if they do manage to get this. So, oh, that's the nullifier coming in. Very few days after, we're gonna see a good bit here. It seems to be a new staple of light. You have the glitch grenades, the gateway. Some people don't run gateway anymore, but I would say it's still a staple. And now we have the nullifier.
It's picking up exactly where the stun gun left off, basically, isn't it? A slightly more interesting and intriguing version of the stun gun, but I was going to say, with the tally so close, honestly, kills could come into this final minute of gameplay right now to determine the winner. Finally, Airshoe gets chased down, but that is not the wipe. We do have a coin coming out from the Zesties. They are in a position, though, where they would be finishing last as it stands. Not much longer for NTHX to secure this cash out B, and that would put them, again, we have to say, it will put them only in the third, so they have to try and maybe grab some more kills, maybe go for that final steal. Setting up a gateway right now to try and contest on A. You can see the light getting over there, but it's going to be a very busy final 25 seconds as it looks like Aimers Red trying to hold on to that first place finish. The DMAC comes through as we get the immediate drop. There is some denial on that point. We have a C4 sitting on top of it. The steal was attempted, but in come the sledges. I think this is just going to be far too hot to handle for any team to unseat Aimers Red. Saints 1 will be happy enough with the second place finish, and that is going to be Aimers Red, as per usual, coming out on top on Cis Horizon.
Not much you can say about that. Both last cash outs were very close together. Everybody just trying to get kills. Nobody was gonna steal that. So they do secure that third. And Carney showing why he's claimed #1 light in EU and maybe in, everywhere else.
Yeah, I've always wanted to chat to Waltz about this on cast, but we never seem to be on the same cast. He seems to think that the light plays are just so much higher over in NA that if you stack any light from NA against any light on EU, then, you know, there's only maybe 2 or 3 lights in EU that could come out on top. We have Carnifex and we have someone in this lobby right now. They are mentioned as some of those lights. Someone coming up with the 8 kills, the highest fragger in this lobby, but, you know, it's a team game, and honestly, across the board, pretty even stats. No one specifically standing out, or any team particularly standing out in the kills department. What's important is that Aimers Red got the job done. They played the map in front of them, and seemingly uncontested on that approach with the Vault, and they just kept hold of it for the whole time.
Yeah, and it seemed like those kills really came down to it at the end. They were only ahead by what, like 2,000? That's 4 kills. That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. That's one team fight with a fib. You really have to take everything you can, get every chip damage, see who's low, really base your push off, you know, what's presented in front of you.
Yeah,
that's what they did.
I love that you've abbreviated defibrillator to defib and then to fib, because I'm like, I say defib every time, and now I'm thinking, you know what, this should be the caster meta, right? We got to get out the words as quickly as possible. I'm calling it a fib from now on. There you go.
Well, we just go fib me, I'm fibbing you, you're fibbed, you're alive, things like that. It's really helps everybody understand what's going on, or he got fibbed, things like that.
I don't know. So I don't know if this is just a British thing, but a fib over here is like a naughty lie. You know, if you're fibbing, you've been lying to your parents about, you know, not stealing the biscuits or whatever. Obviously, I was about to say cookies, because they're the things you steal, right? But yeah, we steal biscuits over here.
We fib over here as well, but
okay,
it's definitely
cool.
the abbreviation that we're talking
enough.
about.
All right, well, Aimers Red coming out on top, and Saints 1 in a nice second place. NTHX coming third above the Zesties, which is the only sort of ranking here that upsets the apple cart in terms of the overall standings. We do have our next map ready to go, and of course this will have been Aimers Red's choice. We're heading over to Bernal, sunny Mexico.
Bernal, one of the newest maps in the game, and I would say it's not really it's kind of divisive. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. You know, you have your high ground with long sight lines for the rifle players, but you also have the 1,600 buildings around you for the shotgunners to get in and pad up to the height. So
where do you sit in that opinion spectrum?
Me personally, it's on the lower side for me. It's not like I don't have good games, but I don't have the best of fun playing, and I couldn't really tell you exactly why. Maybe it's the aesthetic, maybe it's just everything being so flat, but I do enjoy, you know, those arc tracking. But we are going to get into our first fight here. It's Talco absolutely ripping PRM right there.
Yeah, what a hero play, saving Person, who was as good as gone as the heavy right there, being dove on by PRN, but the wipe does come through, Carnifex and the Telco, cleaning things up. And yeah, I feel like Person has to thank his teammates there, because they really bailed him out of one.
Yes, the backshot defender at Talco, as we like to call him. I think that's the first time that's been said, but yeah, we're going to move on. It looks like Airshoot is going to be shooting. It looks like Saints 1, who is going to have possession of this other vault, or I'm sorry, box. And they're going to be moving. Not a team wipe, so you're not going to see many kills here.
It is a vault.
Is it the vault? Oh, okay. I thought the vault was before you tapped it. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, the money box.
I mean, like, does it change after you tapped it? I always considered both states to be the vault. I feel like the vault was locked in a... Maybe
I thought the vault was the locked, and the box is just the box. I'm not sure.
The cash box? Yeah, maybe it's a vault and then it contains the cash box. Yeah. Oh, wow.
I just read the things on my screen. I just read the things on my screen. But we are going to have someone on high ground, which is exactly where you want your light to be. You want him to be head glitching with the tiniest head hitbox in the game, making sure that those shotguns and rifles just don't do anything. The winches aren't going to hit him at all. You want him to be as far away as possible, and making sure your heavy and medium are doing exactly what they're doing right now. Repositioning together, taking control of the map together in sight of that light. And that's what they did. They saw that Zesties was wrapping around this dome, this coliseum, and they rotated correctly it looks like.
Very wise, especially because they know that Velo is a sledge heavy. He is basically the EU's resident sledge heavy at this point. Keeping your distance from him is wise no matter who you are. And yeah, Saints One are playing this very smartly. They have this long angle. They're kiting away, forcing the engage. And of course, when you're up in the air, you should be an easy shot. But air shoot just delivers hell up and onto Emilian. That's the heavy dealt with. Velo taken out. So now it's both heavies gone. Stjopper finds the opposition medium and follows it up with a white onto someone as well. Some great gunplay coming out from Stjopper and Airshoe particularly to win that engage. But here comes the third party.
It looks like a third party. Yep, all of the cooldowns have been expended. And it's just going to be a very quick cleanup, it looks like. That's only, what, 2 in the back?
Ooh, sledge
they don't know where they're at, though. Maybe they can get a reset. Oh, the winch out. Does the sledge do the damage? It does. It's going to take out the heavy, and it's only going to be one person that's going to try to stop. And unfortunately, they didn't even get the flip. It was never Orange's box. It was never Zesty's box. So that is going to be Saints One losing their box ultimately. Not able to, the other team not able to stall enough for them, which they weren't trying to. They were trying to steal it for themselves.
Oh, no. They're going to get caught on the retreat here as well. This is rough. It looks as though, you know, they're just going to get farmed for even more kills, potentially. Depends whether NCHX really want to commit to this chase or not. But, you know, the damage has been done. They've done a really good job here, NCHX, the third partying that. In the meantime, Aimers Red, you know, they've got that aura. You know, no one's going to touch them. They managed to get a box and a cash out absolutely for free, way out ahead of the rest of the pack.
Yeah, look, and NTHX getting that second, being able to third party. It looked like Zesties was actually ratting, kind of, you know, going back to their picture a little bit. They were ratting, letting I believe it was NTHX jump over them, so they were getting their reset, and now they're deciding on what they want to do. Both boxes getting plugged. That's another plug for Aimers Red, so they are going to be another 3K up from every other team after that plug. And it looks like we're going to have another 3-team fight on this side of the map. This is going to be great. Aimers Red being left alone. Let's see what these 3 teams can do. Who's going to bait? Who's going to wait? And who is going to attempt to steal in front of the doorway? Not normally what you want to do, but it is what it is. We are going to hear a lot of shooting now. And this is the sign for NTHX to go in. Once they see 1 or 2 kills on that scoreboard, because we are playing by World Tour rules, we're going to see what the Zesties are able to do to defend this, or to defend their spot, their turf, because that's what you want.
Yeah, there's
in these situations.
There's definitely an opportunity here for NCHX. They have been biding their time. In comes this attempted steal from the Zesties. Surely now that is the klaxon for NCHX to go in. Both teams not down though. Maybe the fact that Stjopper has survived has been delaying NTHX. That steal is successful for the Zesties. In come Pinks finally. Airshoe managing to close up shot behind him, but him and his teammates are very low on HP right now. Saints One looking to try and reclaim the point. I think Zesties are heading far afield. They don't want anything to do with this, maybe hoping that they can re-third party on their point. Everyone's just sort of dancing around. The positioning is really difficult to pin down right now. NCHX moving as that bubble. Saints One going in for the steal though. They may be successful here as the denial is quite late. They are successful, but the trade is there. NCHX dropping their dome, but not forcing the steal at all. Then Pepe comes back. His dome is going to be wasted. In comes the gunplay from Mickey to deny it, and the gas mine to take out PRN. It's only 1 player up now for NCHX, and now the box is securely in the hands of Saints One. Carney pops up for a kill.
Carney was there for a while. He's been there for a while, since about halfway through that cash out. He recognized that all 3 teams were coming over here, and he wanted to get as many kills as possible. They are going to keep their lead, being 30K, 8K above, I believe, Saints One, who was able to. I don't know about you, but in NA, the boxes don't flip like that when there's 3 teams around. That box flipped 3 times.
Yeah.
It was 3 different colors in that one scuffle that lasted very long. One team could not be completely found and snuffed out.
We did have a while ago a final cash out on Vegas that lives long in my mind, where it changed hands. It was doubled right in the middle of the map. And it was doubled it was doubled and it changed hands 6 times. It was terrifying. Like, it was all over the shop. Actually, maybe that was
I would not want to be in that game.
I seem to remember Scallywags being part of it, so actually it might have been a mix This
Yeah,
was like
that
way
makes
back
sense.
in like Breakout, I think. So yeah, that was a wild one. Here we go, final wave of cash outs, and it looks like we might actually not get a third party for once.
Well, I'm kind of confused as to what's happening with 6. The last place team is actually holding the box hostage in the back of the map. Not sure what they are trying to do with that. The Zesties, I'm not really sure what but we are having a huge fight over here for, I believe it's first, unless NTHX gets this cash out. Yes, Saints 1 was wiped. So, if you are Aimers Red right now, your game plan is to make sure this does not get doubled, split, or to make sure that purple Saints 1 does not get this flip. It doesn't matter if anybody else gets this flip. So
many moving
if you're
parts.
yes, if you're Saints 1, your whole goal is to get this flip. And if you are Aimers Red, your whole goal is to kill Saints 1 and only Saints 1.
That attempted red right next to the heavy. Somehow Pepe comes out unscathed, well, not unscathed, but alive at the very least. Does finish off Jopa, but he's taken out by Velo, and that is the wipe against NTHX. So now Zesties finally moving with this box. They might have left it. No, they haven't left it too late. There's still 35 seconds to go. So yeah, they'll get this into B securely. We should take a look over at Cash Out A right now and see if Saints 1 can manage to get the steal. They are all up right now. It seems as though they've made a dent in the players of Aimers Red. Perhaps that is... No, that's not true. We've got 2 and 1 split right now. So the close unit of the heavy and the medium on Aimers Red just ferrying around the point, and they're waiting. They're letting their like play time. Person taken down though. Emilian finding that kill. Carnifex trades onto his opposite number. The light's now taken out, but they find that kill. Here's the stick.
He's reloading.
He's taken out.
No.
The reloading not working out for him. The steal fails, and we have the confirmed first place for Aimers Red. We'll head on over to the final cash out now.
And it's not even close. Everyone is just playing for scraps now for second. Let's see what is going to happen in this last 30, 40 seconds here. The winch is going to winch him through the floor. You hate to see it, but we are going to get NTHX, who have been in third this entire run. Yeah, the gas of them. I believe that was a barrel. I'm not sure if they're running mines on this squad, but yes. Oh, there were mines. Yeah, another round of gas.
They left behind a flame barrel as well. There's a flame barrel right next to the point that they could have used potentially to disperse this gas immediately, but they haven't done so, and now it's getting real busy over here, and you know that makes it so much more difficult for anyone to steal. The Zesty is looking to climb from 4th to 2nd, and the catch out is bouncing like a jack in the box.
Winch pad, DMAT is out the building.
There's no chance. Time is up, and we get some kills at the end. Plenty of kills, in fact, for Zesties right there as they surge into second place. But once again, Aimers Red is dominating this lobby.
Yeah, this could potentially be a 4-peat with how this is going right now. I mean, everybody on Aimers Red just performing absolutely here.
They managed to do it last weekend. They did 4 in a row. I casted them on Wednesday, where they had possibly their worst play day out of any. They only won 1 map out of the 4, but they've already bested that right now. So Sis and Bernal goes their way. I'm intrigued to see where they choose to go next. They did choose to go on Vegas last time they had the choice, but that didn't end well. So maybe they'll feel something else today. Wow. All right. So let's have a close look at these stats as well. Chopper, we're used to seeing this like at the top of the frag count. Really making a difference here. Carnifex not far behind as well, so he's backing up his individual performances with some first place finishes this time around, which is really nice to see. They've started to lock in together as a team, Aimers Red.
Yep, and I'm noticing a lot of support score. You know, all the defibs and the shields and everything going for the mediums and heavies. So you know, everyone's attempting to play together. It's not like anybody is underperforming like crazy. We're all trying to make what we have work against the people that we're fighting currently. So, and you know, the 3-man Atelco, Carney, Person, they're a force to be reckoned with right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to run into that stack, would you? Like, that is a scary stack. And yeah, I think what you're saying about the sort of stats being pretty spread out, we said the same thing after Sis Horizon, right? It's been a very closely contested group, even if we've seen 2 wins from Aimers Red so far. Those 2nd, 3rd, 4th places, they've all swapped round across the 2 maps. Everyone can pitch in. We've seen Stopper come up with the most kills in that map as well. Like I said, we're very used to seeing that from this light player. He's a very talented one. And I don't know where we're heading next. We'll have Burrito in our ears momentarily to sort of confirm that. Of course, it is Amos Red's pick, so like I said, it could be anywhere. They seem to.
Do they run back the Vegas?
Maybe.
Do they run back the Vegas? It could potentially.
It's going to be Fortune Stadium. Exciting. I will just shout out Rio because he always mentions that it's his favorite map. So yeah, Rio.
It's a lot of people's favorites. It was a fan favorite as soon as it was introduced. You know, being a smaller version of Seoul. I mean, it's been repeated multiple times, but Seoul in and of itself is an okay map in my opinion. It needed a little bit of those long sight lines to be reduced, and that's exactly what the stadium version of it does, which is Fortune. There's a lot of we even have the same callouts for the same places on the map.
Yeah, well, it's much better than going with Sector 1, Sector 2, etc. You just call it Hospital. Yeah. Like, it's so much easier to call Hospital. Yeah, right. Makes perfect sense. And I like the fact that it even improves upon Seoul in some of the smaller aspects, like, for instance, the Isolt building having that huge jump pad in the middle. It feels the most like an arena shooter that any part of the finals appears.
Right.
Like it really
feels like
just
I'm playing Quake.
Exactly, it's a Quake map. It really is just a Quake map.
Yeah. The Insta-Gibbs. All right, we're gonna load into our third match here. Let's see if Amos Red can take another. It didn't look like they were contested very much. They lost 3v3 in the beginning of the first game, but it seems like they've been gone uncontested since, not really being punished or pushed that much. But Taco is going to be on his FAMAS. He's no longer been using the Scar. It's just fallen out of meta in the last couple seasons, so he is going to be using this FAMAS. You don't really see much of FAMAS on NA unless you use the double medium comp. It's a lot of Serbs, and I'm noticing a lot more ranged weapons being used here on this side of the pond. Yeah,
it's a very strange phenomenon that the shotguns just aren't quite as popular over here. Very few Cerberus players, in fact. You get a lot of FAMAS, a lot of FCAR, and at the moment, Saints 1, the only team to have been wiped, so that box is moving rapidly over towards B as Amos Red avoiding contact with their opposition. NTHX were the team that wiped their opponents off screen, and they get their plug started way on the other side of the map. Airshot ducking and diving, but he can't get out of the way of Person's minigun.
Getting dematted into a minigun and FAMAS is never fun, and that's going to be a very quick wipe. I think what Zesty was trying to do was stay second floor and just kind of wait to see what Amos Red was going to do with the box. But, it looks like we're getting right back into the action. Mickey actually getting the kill onto the light. That is the matter out. And it looks like the nullifier are going to be taking the medium out of this realm, out of this dimension, but it doesn't matter. That's a sledgehammer, buddy. You better not run into that. Oh, but Mickey coming in clutch here. This is a 1v2 situation. He's going to get him to 1 HP, getting that insta-fib. He fibbed the light, not the heavy. Not ideal, but the quickest reaction times to one-tap dirt nap. Pepe, I believe that was the medium, but it looks like the light coined in. He's going to be back. And right here, he has a decision. He can walk in and attempt to get a body and risk wiping, or just wait for his teammates to coin. It being the first point, you never want to coin first point unless, it's very dire, but it looks like they are all going to be coining in.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rough one there. PRM may be regretting hitting that spacebar quite so hastily. And you can see Saints 1 backed up in the corner. They haven't had necessarily as much time as they would have liked. They knew that PRM was still up and could pose a threat. So at least it's kept the pressure on. But this is, of course, for only that first vault. Out comes the damage, though. Pepe having to retreat. And bear in mind, he is using that shotgun. Someone coming in to try and deal the finishing blows, but he can't find it.
I see a third coming.
Oh, no.
It looks like Zesty is coming in from the top ropes.
That's pretty bad news for Saints 1. They've done such a good job defending this point, but of course now only someone alive. Can he do enough? A rage, yes he can. He takes out Airshoe, completely undetected. Now in the 1 versus 2, and he has the nullifier as well. Such an incredible tool in this situation. Just needs to get in close. The glitch is going to deny it. Can he find the hit?
He nullified the wrong person.
He hits the headshot, so
it doesn't matter.
Firing through the nullified.
That gun is broken.
Unbelievable. He gets the wipe as well. Someone, you machine.
In a 1v3 situation, insta-killing the medium, nullifying the light not being able to body block for the heavy, and all headshots, getting that recoil control. Now, this is my least favorite part of the map. I'm not sure, I don't know what the stats are, but I feel like you get thirded all the time when you go for this box.
It's
for
just
this vault.
there's no cover.
There's nowhere for you to go. You're just backed in a corner with a pad on your right that's bad and long sight lines with high ground in front of you.
At least in Seoul there's trees in that area. You know, like you got a little bit of visual cover, but it's so exposed there going for that vault. It really is rough. Here we go, straight on to the next point of action. Pepe finding a res on Noli elsewhere as we're watching right now the Zesties. Interesting glitch. Did he think that was the opponent's
No,
stuff?
it was a preemptive glitch in case they jumped down on him.
See, he's thinking 2 steps ahead. I can't do that. I'll just see what's in front of me. You know?
No, it's okay. But it looks like Aimers Red, for the first time, not going to be in first place. Going to be running this box, the 2-man. Not sure where Carney's is, but I believe he should be recuperating with them in a second.
Zesties have 1 kill. Ow. Sorry. Okay. That's ooh. Ouch. Okay. The less said about that, the better. We've got 2 plugs going on. Aimers Red and Saints 1 found their final or their second wave of plugs together, and at the moment the Zesties, well, they need to
If they had
up,
2 kills,
basically.
they would have gotten that box, but someone 1v3'd them, so it is what it is. We go next. Persian getting the kill onto Airshoe. That is going to be a minigun fight. But it looks like I'm sorry, how do you say his name? Shopper?
We go with Chopper. Yeah, it's not great.
I can't say that.
It
Regardless,
exists to confuse us.
he found out how windy this map is, falling off the map. Not sure how that happened. We're not going to look. We're not going to go back for it. There are no replays here. But we will see Pepe and the rest of his boys on NTHX recuperating, trying to get this third party going. It looks like they are going to be pushing D, I believe. That is... Yep, that's Saints 1 point. So this is a very bad spot for a Sledge. However, he is going to winch it into safety. But triggering 1 gas mine and getting absolutely fried. I'm not sure if you do that without a bubble next time, buddy. But we're gonna keep going.
We go straight back into the action as someone is still alive, and that is the main thing. Nope, never mind. I completely cast the curse.
Another
they have to try and
third.
defend their box. Another third party. It's the Zesties coming in, finally getting
Tripling
a couple
their
of kills to
kills.
their name. Yeah, tripling
No,
their
don't
kills.
let someone do it again, please.
His winched out position. That res has come through. Someone is out of the action though. Emilian taken out. Mickey is the only player on Saints 1 up and running at the moment. Zesties have 40 seconds. That's all they need to defend this for, and they're getting set up above the point. This should be pretty done and dusted for them. Finally securing a good cash out as long as they stick the landing.
Right, they are going to have another 20 seconds when the clock on these timers are at 9 o'clock, so 3/4 of the way done. You have about 20 seconds to get on. The last 7 seconds, you can even look at the timer at the top for when boxes are plugged to know if you have enough time, or you can just check.
Now.
Yeah, that is now. He does get it if that sticks, but it's going to get winched and shot down. That's not going to be happening. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it looks like Aimers Red are just going to be ignored once again. And if it happens again on this last box, they are very well in way of getting that 4P.
It's very surprising to me that Saints 1 specifically are going for this. In the macro sense, right, they should be aiming to take down Aimers Red at a peg or 2. They're the ones that are the closest challengers here. But it seems as though Saints 1 are more content with trying to dominate the rest of the lobby, settling for second place essentially, which is, you know, sometimes that's what you got to do. But I'm just surprised that they're not seeing this as an opportunity to go specifically after Aimers Red instead. But it is what it is. This is what the call has been, you know, this is a very deliberate choice they are making.
Right, 100%. They want to make sure their standings and seedings going into next week's Playday, which is a whole bracket for another set of seeding, getting ready for champs. They want to make sure that their points are as high as possible. And if they feel like the fights and thirding Aimers Red isn't worth it, then that's just what they're going to do. But yeah, it looks like Zesties is going to be getting this plug, and that does not secure second place, I believe. No, it does not. So that doesn't secure second place for Aimers Red. So they do have to play a box. They do have to make sure if they want, you know, any decent amount of points that they control this box. And if I'm Saints 1, I'm doing what you say. I'm doing what you said before. I'm waiting to third and making sure that Aimers Red gets knocked down a peg or two. I do not want them taking a huge lead on me. But depending on what their team does, it's what they choose to do.
If NTHX and Aimers Red end up with these boxes, which is the current state of play, then it's going to come down to kills between Zesties and Saints One, but it will be a bit of a moot point anyway because they're just fighting over third
and
place.
fourth. They're fighting for pennies.
Exactly. Emilian coming in, 2 HP in a dream, but that dream is put to sleep immediately. That's not how dreams work. Whatever. Someone
the model.
finishing off, the model causing Emilian problems.
But dying anyway, it's a double wipe.
No way.
If Zesties is holding tab right now, they should see that both teams were wiped. This is a free steal for them.
They're running
They
so
need to
fast.
go now.
They've got no mobility besides that DMAT at the moment that's relevant, but they are going to make it there in time to secure this steal. No pesky mines.
He died to fire. He died to a fire barrel.
Wow. That's so unfortunate. Only 40 seconds left, 45 or so, to get on that box. And both Saints 1 and the NTHX spawning in now. They've spawned in closer to the other point as well. So it may be the case that Aimers Red get taken down a peg or two here if they decide that this is the point they want to go for. But no, NTHX
they are
completely
gone.
bypassing that. They're going straight for B with 30 seconds
That's a
left.
third
SCN,
round for Aimers
what's going to happen
Red.
here?
I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of winching, a lot of DMAT, a lot of explosions, maybe a sledgehammer kill or two, and it's just going to be a lot of things in the kill feed in this last 15 seconds, as we're already seeing. Just look at the rainbow right there: purple, red, pink. I think there's green in there too. I'm pretty sure. But that triple mine kill was crazy. And this is why everybody use Serb. I don't know why we're not seeing any, but that is going to be the Zesties taking number 2. We already knew Aimers Red was going to get first. They weren't contested at all the entire game, it felt like. Maybe getting shot out on rotations, but nobody wants to 3v3 them. Nobody wants to look at another team, wink at them, and just take them down together. Like, that's not happening. Nobody wants to fight Aimers Red. They are going to be fighting for second place. And if you're Saints 1, that's not what you want to do. You want to overtake them. But if you're everybody else, you're just playing for your qual and you're playing for your seeding for next week.
That's a pre-placed gas mine, of course. Chopa's shooting it out because he was the name in the kill feed, and he's a light. You don't get the gas mines. He killed one member of every team with that gas mine. It was a multicolored kill feed. We saw red, orange, and purple in there, all under, or rather red, orange, red, purple, and pink in there, all under Chopa's name. So crazy stuff. I love a good gas mine play. But you're right. It's the Serb. Why are we not seeing it? It's so useful, even outside the fact that it's an incredibly powerful weapon that can, almost one-shot a light at this point. Thankfully it doesn't one-shot them completely anymore. But it's still just worth bringing for the utility and the abundance of gas mines and just gas barrels that we see causing problems in these final moments. Right,
and I'm actually... I figured, for some reason, that EU with their playstyle being a little bit more not as fast, not as inty, not as monkey jumping on everybody as much, that we would see a little more Serb and just being that little pocket rocket for your heavy, just kind of being a little shoulder rocket for him, just he sends you to go kill and you go kill. But with the Serb, but it looks like everybody is just playing the range game, playing a little bit farther. We're going to see, more utility be used because the Serb is gone. There's no fire to take out gas. You can use a plethora of different things to stall now. And, DMAT being a staple and everything, just the shotgun DMAT goo that is in NA it's a very different play style over here, and I'm enjoying it. I'm liking what I see.
I would sort of theorize that maybe it's that sort of, you want a bit of synchronicity between your heavy and your medium, and maybe the mediums don't feel comfortable running a shotgun when their heavy's on range or whatever it is. But that's the meta that you get in NA. You get those miniguns, you get the Lewis guns and things. How much SA 1216 do you see over there? It's definitely less than we used to.
Right. Yeah, especially with all the nerfs. This recent patch, some people call it a nerf. One of the best SA users that I know, everybody knows Lamp. He was saying that it was a buff. So yeah, I haven't used it myself in a very well way. I'm a medium player, but if Lamp says it's a buff in my book. It's an so maybe we'll see a little bit more. And the minigun getting nerfed potentially soon. They were speaking about it, how they don't want it spooling up as easily as it was before, which kind of takes away a little bit of that that ceiling that we wanted to see from all weapons, but you know, if that's the direction they want to take it, make you be a turret, and that's all they want, then that is what we're gonna get. We're gonna see more SA-12s for sure. Maybe some Shacks. I'm not sure. I know M60 has gotten a good amount of appearances, but I've been yapping long enough. Looks like we are running into, I believe, our third game.
No,
Saints won. Our fourth game.
Yeah.
Fourth game. That's right. That was the three-peat. Our fourth game, and Aimers Red trying to get their run back on Vegas. Let's see if they can make it the four-peat.
Yeah, and I was incorrect earlier when I said they did it last weekend. That was in fact their brother team, quite literally in Atelco and Noix's case, in Aimers Blue, that managed to get 4 in a row. So they're looking to step up to that level and say, you know, anything you can do, we can do too. Income. Wow. Okay. Well, Saints 1 just managed to wipe NTHX off screen. But
that was a very fast wipe. Yeah, I was gonna mention that. There's a lot of kills happening.
We're going to stick with this fight right now, which is Aimers Red trying to undo the Zesties, and what a landing.
I don't think Persian saw somebody until he found 2 people half HP and giving them the most devious back shots they've ever received. But he did not see anybody until that situation. But Carney and Italco just doing so much work with those ranged weapons. It being a jungle gym over there with the amount of pads and DMATs we saw. But yeah, it looks like Aimers Red and Saints 1 going to be getting the plugs here, being in control. Zesty's getting to find a kill, getting to yield any dash for themselves, and now we have NTHX pushing Aimers Red. This is a sledge against potentially the top-seeded team in EU.
Winch.
Very good winch. I'm not sure how he hit that. I don't know the properties of winch that well, but that was an incredible winch. Right, yeah.
It was a crazy
road.
That was
3 continents right there. But yeah, we are going to see, it looks like Carney just, the kill on the heavy doesn't matter when the light just goes uncontested across the map with their MP5 that can one clip everybody in the game.
We've got a bit of thirding happening here as well. Zessy's coming in hot, and Carney just sort of backing away, maybe realizing that they need to recuperate here. They're 1 man down, waiting for that coin to come in. Does get dropped, so that's good. The C4 play making sense, and Persian will let hell rain from his gun barrel, but he does have to back off as he's under a lot of pressure. Zessy's really bunched up and unloading into him, but looks like they've recovered.
I also noticed on the EU side. That you don't see many goo grenades. Goo grenades is it's almost taking place of barricade, but the medium has it.
I think it's
so
better. I think it's way better than barricade. You know, it's much bigger. It's more versatile. Carnifex is maybe wishing he had one right now to cover his tracks, and at the moment he's the last one alive. Persian has been rezzed though, I'm mistaken. So they're doing quite well. They've never looked like they're fully in control of this Aimers Red, but they've hung on and they've still got this cash out to their name.
Well, I'm not sure if you noticed, but it looks like Saints 1 abandoning their box, leaving it because they already have it. They're already on this side, leaving 1 person to go. If someone was scoping it out a little bit earlier, but it looks like Aimers Red is most likely going to take this unless this steal can go. There is going to be 1 stall from the Persian, but he gets off. He didn't trust his teammate. He gets off, Mickey. He would have had that.
Oh, it's so
very unfortunate.
So difficult to call because he was on such low HP. He did move, so maybe some shots missed at the end. But yeah, I feel like in that situation, you've just got to risk it, right? You've got to stick it, and if you go down, then fine.
That's the point.
Yeah.
One kill isn't surmountable to 8K.
Yeah.
You definitely want to stick that because you don't know what's gonna happen. A random goo grenade could just fall right in front of you. You always want to stick it if you're the medium.
Yeah, pros don't fake, as we like to say in Siege. It's an age-old saying. You got to stick those. Anyway, here we go. Fight over the next wave of vaults we have.
A Lewis gun.
Yep, a Lewis gun coming in. Wow. Velo takes that one, immediately taken out, and that is a wipe onto the Zesties, who are yet to register a vault or a cash out in this map so far. But we said that about them at near the end of last game, and they managed to rescue their entire map. So
someone just having a field day on NTHX in the middle of the open, not having any cover there. But it looks like there's many colors happening on the map. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of things happening right now.
Yeah, that's the finals for you.
That is the finals.
You know better than I do, but watching it from the top down is like even more chaotic. There's so much more going on. Emilian and someone finding kills on a pair of different teams. They're actually doing quite well here. They managed to fend off 2 teams that are going for the steal.
Yeah, and that's going to be Aimers Red again in this spot of second place off second box, but they always manage to bounce back and take it. So let's see what they opt to do. That second box has not been plugged yet, so this is going to be a huge stagger. So what I'm going to predict is going to happen is that either that box is never getting plugged until the next set of boxes.
Oh.
But it just got plugged anyway, so what's going to happen is every team is going to come over to C right now. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen, unless they're 200 meters apart. But it looks like they're not. And two teams are... Nope, they're just leaving Saints 1. I'm not really sure what the macro is looking like in these comms.
Yeah,
but
we can only guess.
This is but it looks like we are going to have a fight for first right now. Saints 1 getting their box stolen on the other side of the map. We are going to be looking at these two teams fighting for third and fourth right here. That's going to be a kill on the medium, a very big kill. That's the range out. And it looks like PRN is going to be pushing in fast. Going to be getting that kill, but getting one tapped by the sledge. You hate to see it.
Velo loves
it's
this
a
building.
one-on-one.
That's Velo's
It's
favorite.
a 2-on-1.
That's Velo's favorite building in the finals, I think. We love to see it. Again, another white coming out in two directions. The seal is going to be successful here from Aimers Red as they decided to go and tackle C, which was, you know, the correct decision, as you were talking about. You know, it's very strange to see Saints 1 going in so tight on D there. But whatever happens, either way, at the moment, Aimers Red are reasserting their dominance back at the top of the leaderboard. We're going to see a very busy cash out D. I think Aimers Red probably just go for the next vault and ignore this three-way.
I do as well, and I think if they don't end up getting it, obviously they're not going to double. They're going for the 4P. They might hold the next box out. So they could get the plug and then either get more kills and just hold the last box out and make sure the last place team secures the bank. But right now it looks like there's a 3... Is that 4? I believe all 4 teams are here fighting for D. It looked like the light might have been going for 5.
Yeah, I was wrong.
I believe
Aimers Red are coming
only
for
2
this.
of them, though.
Some great shots from Pepe there. He's just guarding this point for the opposition teams from above. This is a really nice vantage point, but they need to get on the steal at some point. No, he has been taken down as well. That's their heavy, so that's going to really make things quite challenging. Time is out, and that is a cash out for the Zesties, benefiting from a lot of helpful help. Wow, okay. Pepe? Okay, calm down.
Okay. He said it's last game. We're in last place. I might as well have fun. We're going revolver. And you know what? I don't blame him. Not a bit. So if I'm Saints 1 right now, I just key Aimers Red. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't think they've lost a 3v3 though in the last 3 maps. So
well, they've had barely any to take anyway, right? They haven't really been challenged. There's a great little trade there. PRN taken down, but Velo, PRN taking out Stopa, but Velo finds the lights, and now it's a heavy versus a medium. This is a very funny interaction. Just trying to hope that someone comes through that gateway.
Yeah. Very skillful.
He gets it.
Very skillful. I'm happy that happened. I'm happy that played out the way it did. I just want that to be known. Anyway, Revolver going crazy right now, actually. He's clipping it. Yeah, he knows he's on stream. Smile for the camera, buddy.
He's earned that rest. He's earned a little sit down. Wow. Okay.
He typed in chat as well. He knows we were watching. That is going to be a very big stagger. It's a minute 30 on one and about a little under a minute on the other.
Okay, fair. I said that they weren't being challenged. I suppose that's why. Atelco managing to wipe out Saints 1 pretty much single-handedly. Someone rocking the 12k kills so far this lobby. He's got a minute and 20 to add to that. A kill a minute.
So the Zesties right now, I'm not really sure what their game plan is. They're just letting the clock run right now. They're potentially like hoping that Aimers Red walks away from this to get the other box, but there's no point for them to do that. So of course they're going to keep one here. They're going to go for a last second steal as I thought, but Carney and the medium.
If they can wipe Aimers Red here, then they sit in a decent position to third party at the end. That's the only thinking I can muster here. But they are losing this fight.
They were just letting them. They were letting the clock run down. At that point, when there's a fourth of the time left, you just need to go. Yeah. There's no time for these stall tactics. And Aimers Red being so far ahead in the lead, they were not gonna let that happen to them. Them being as experienced players as they are, they knew that that was their one win condition, and they didn't have to do anything. They're not gonna play for kills like it's ranked. They do not care. They are playing for the 4P, and they have successfully done it. There is nothing that can happen in the rest of the game. They cannot wipe 6 times. And that is going to be a 4P, and all 3 other teams, they're not even fighting right now.
Well, there's 15
the hands
seconds
are down,
left.
the gauntlets are down.
Saints one might have a chance, but they don't really. NCHX
That winch
that
secured
winch
it.
Pretty much sold the game.
Pulled it back inside. That's going to be it.
NTHX walking with the 2nd place, which feels like a victory given the certain state of affairs of Aimers Red running the 4P. Like you said, they were so dominant here. And they've done what Aimers Blue managed to do last weekend, 4 wins in a row.
And you can just admire like their resilience and their 3v3s. I mean, they were winning every single 3v3 besides one at the very beginning. It was a very crazy to see the other side of the map where 3 teams were going to be the entire time.
Yeah, and look at Telco and Carnifex kills as well, 9 each as the medium and light. You can say someone, he did fantastically well with 13 kills to his name, but they finished last. It doesn't mean anything. And, to be honest, Aimers Red really didn't have as many opportunities to get the kills that they did, but they still got them. Like, look how low the combat score is for them, considering how many kills they got. That just shows the efficiency with which they were able to slaughter their opposition.
Right. They only picked fights that they knew they were going to win. They only chose targets and, ran them down as they needed. There wasn't a lot of scrapping and just waiting around for other people to make things happen. They did it themselves.
Ooh, lobby code leak. Doesn't matter. It's going to be a fresh lobby for the next one. So, yeah, great stuff from Aimers Red. We have to give them their plaudits. Across the other 3 teams, we actually saw Zesties gain the most 2nd place finishes. And then Saints 1 managed to come 2nd on CIS. And on Vegas, we saw NTHX come 2nd. So, my expectation is that these teams are pretty much ending the day where they started. It's not going to shuffle the standings all that drastically. That is left up to our remaining 8 teams that we'll have in the coming groups. And we will wait just a little bit time to get those numbers plugged in so we can have a look at the standings shortly. But STN, your first wave, your first group of games casting over here on EU. What was your kind of main takeaways from, this side of the pond, the different metas, the different play styles, and the different players?
I definitely noticed less of Serb. I mentioned that. A lot more winches, actually. Even though SA isn't as prevalent as it was before, even with the heavies using LMG, they mostly use it for repositioning and getting the cash box into a better spot for them in the long run. It's not really about the winching into an insta kill. You'll see the Sledgehammer was attempting to do that, and that was working for him. But most of the time when you're running LMG winch, it's not a typical combo. You'll notice that. I also noticed that a lot of the fights and a lot of the just the points overall, the kills, it was a lot more evenly spread. Like even that's even reflected in the points. I noticed the points before this set of 4 games started. Like there was a lot of people that could overtake each other. There wasn't as grand of a point disparity between or dispersion. I believe the correct word is.
I think both
between
are
the
fine.
teams.
But yeah,
cool, great,
nailed it.
Yeah, synonyms. We're good.
We do love them. I love a good synonym roll as well. Really tasty. Well, that just about wraps up that group. I'm sorry. I'm full of those. You'll get used to it, I'm sure. Or maybe you won't. One of my favourite things, actually, from seeing today is, we've got to see already in our first group, a cash-out winning nullifier play. That was awesome. Someone delivering
a 1v3?
Yeah. In fact, that was almost like a 1v6 because he managed to wipe the team beforehand as well. So it's unbelievable play from someone. Definitely the highlight play of the day so far. And we also get to see all chat in private matches. It's so good. People can stunt on each other now. Like,
they can see each other?
I think they can.
I thought only we could because we were the caster.
Maybe we can see. I'm glad that we can see it at least. I don't think we were able to see it before. But if they can talk. They can talk to each other.
They can talk to each other. Yeah. That's amazing. I like that a lot. That's great.
This is the single biggest advancement in the esports scene that we've had yet. I'm so
now
glad.
We just need VoIP.
Yeah, exactly. Just immediately after death, like there's a game that does that where it opens up to all chat
COD.
at the end. Yeah, at the end of COD. Yeah. I
Yeah,
really
death
want to hear
chat.
that.
You know, I want to know that a 3-man team is a floor above me and just walking up the stairs, just shouting at them that they're about to die, just screaming at them, letting them know, just unleashing the battle cry. But yeah, that was a very, very impressive 4-peat from Aimers Red and Saints 1, I believe, coming in. I mean, we'll see the standings for them without the rest of the teams, but
Yeah. I think
so
what we'll do,
we'll definitely see that.
I think we're going to throw it to a break so that we can get those numbers run, because we also have another whole 2 groups of games on our way. Aimers Blue, Burnt Nuggets, Divine Dead, and Gungala are our teams in Group B. Yeah, there's some weird names there, STN. We know there's.
Oh, I subbed for Gungala. Don't you worry about that. I don't even know what it means. I subbed for them. I believe a week ago on a Wednesday.
I just assume it's a gala of guns, like an NRA meeting.
Let's go with
I
that.
don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever. Either way, Group B is on its way next, so don't go far. We're going to go to a short break.
This isn't just a game. This is TNT. Welcome to the jungle and welcome to 8 Squad's Thursday Night Throwdown.
Featuring the game's top talent, pick up games where chimps become champions.
Thursday nights 8 to 10 p.m. every week, only on 8 Squad. Catch us live on air on Twitch at twitch.tv/8squadorg.
In the world of sports, every second counts. Every move matters. That's where a Spooze comes in, the sports beverage designed for champions. With a Spooze, it's simple as pop, pour, perform. Packed with electrolytes and essential nutrients to keep you hydrated and energized, Spooze is your go-to drink for peak performance. Whether you're just carrying the vault or securing the winning cash out, Spooze is there to fuel your victory. Its unique formula is scientifically designed to boost your stamina and focus. Spooze, for those who dare to excel. Pop, pour, perform.
It's showtime!
The real world can be unfriendly, misleading, confusing. But your world doesn't have to be. Reality Shield will protect you, cutting out the noise, making the world perfect. We do not censor. We cultivate. Engimo.
That strange thought you just had, where did it come from? And was it even yours? Our new Series 2000 effectively suppresses third-party influence and eccentricity, outperforming our competitors within the standard deviation of conformity. With the Series 2000, your mind stays in control. Via, we as one.
The life giver, the sun, always on, the source of everything that is good. But can it be trusted? Holtau's Sun Insurance will have you covered if the unimaginable happens and the light goes out. Holtau, brighter than ever.
You know, June, every time I think I've seen it all, the finals proves me wrong. What a play!
That's one for the highlight reel, Scotty.
The next chapter in this epic saga is about to unfold.
the stars. Distant, watching. When will they arrive? Will your family be disintegrated first or last? Will your family dog become their leader? With Holtau's alien invasion insurance, you don't have to worry. Alto, we got your back.
Absorbe ce que c'est. Monde, monde, pour misérable et fortuné. Absorbe ce que tu désires devenir, c'est ce que tu es. Alors, absorbe, absorbe.
Running round in circles, jumping over hurdles. You know I loved you, let's face the facts. Taking love for granted, really wish we hadn't. Hesitates to how did we lose track? All these feelings, I left it bleeding. And we just go back, take it back. We hit the ceiling, now you're leaving. How do we end up like that? 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 I can hear you hurting, trying to put the work in. Turn a blind eye, step over cracks. That's the risk we taking. Love can be mistaken, but a fight hope it doesn't last. All these feelings, I left it bleeding. And we just go back, take it back. We hit the ceiling, now you're leaving. How do we end up like that? How do we end up like that?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pro League Season 0. This is EU right now, but we have, as ever, a NA caster. But this NA caster is special because he's also one of the best players in NA right now, and I'm going to stop glazing him right now because I did it enough in the last map, or last group. So, STN, how are you feeling about the second wave of teams, the second group today?
Good. The first round, we saw the first place team most definitely gonna be staying in first. So
Yep.
everyone's kind of fighting to kick over each other. We're gonna be I'm ready to see some more winches, some more diverse weapons, and really see what EU has to offer.
Well, we've got plenty on offer, and right now we're heading into Group B with 4 fresh new teams. Of course, this is the final day of cash out gameplay that we're going to see. We're heading into the playoffs, which is all 3v3s. So, Aimers Blue, Burnt Nuggets, Divine Dead, and Gungala, which we sometimes say Gungala, but I don't know, there's no proper way of saying this word. It's just a made-up word. It's also one of the weirdest logos. Burnt Nuggets, one of my favorites. And if we look at the actual important stuff, we can see that Aimers Blue are in third place. They were second before the day began, and unless they basically lose every map and get no kills, they're probably going to end up in second, but they could potentially jump into first if they have an unbelievable day. I really don't think that's going to happen, though. They are fighting for second place here.
Right. They are, I believe, 521 points back. So they'll need 4 firsts, which is 400, and then
like 30 kills on map at least.
Yeah, they're gonna need over 100 kills in 4 maps.
Yeah,
and that so there is a chance. I'm not sure how big of a chance that is.
It's probably worth looking at the bottom of the table as well, where we see Divine Dead currently on 1727, and they aren't completely out of reach of that green zone. Of course, these two zones really denoting the different parts of the bracket that you may end up in the playoffs. So if you're in the green zone, you'll be in the upper bracket. In that yellow zone, you'll be in the lower bracket. So Divided really want to try and climb out of this, but of course they've got some really tough teams in front of them. Gungala in that top 4 conversation as well, and Burnt Nuggets really not that far behind. So we have the 3rd, 4th and 5th place teams in this lobby. A lot could change, and I reckon we're going to get some excellent gameplay on our screens right here, SCN.
Definitely, and we're getting right into it. We're going to be on the side of
Sis Horizon.
Yeah, Sister Horizon, yet again. Wonder who picked this great map. Anyway, we're going to have Burnt Nuggets padding. We're going to have a pad fight. You don't see much of this in NA anymore just because of all the Cerberus, but the rifles and everything on EU, we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah, it's old school, but unfortunately, Burnt Nuggets, they don't work as well as they would have liked to for that fight. Gungala coming out on top, and they get the tap on the vault, heading all the way over to B as well with that gateway. They will get the plug here successfully. Aimers Blue and Divide Dead in the meantime going at it. NoahX looks like he's doing quite well with a kill and a defib to his name. There's still a bit of action over there. I'm seeing more red. Health bars than purple, and now all the purple is gone. So that is a very healthy situation for Aimers Blue to be in.
Right, you can actually take note of how many kills happen and what's really going on that side of the map, who got tapped and everything by the amount in the top left. That's kind of what the players do to really understand what's happening when we don't have access to the scoreboard in ranked. So it looked like one team got the tap for the money, the 1K, and the other team was able to kill them all. You know, a few kills exchanged here and there, but looks like we are going to have Aimers Blue being pushed by Divine Dead, who just respawned. So let's see how this fight pops. And you'll see, as we were mentioning before, that that winch being used to move the vault into a already predetermined spot that I assume these teams are you know, setting it in, having specific strats on different sides of the map and different points.
They have their plans and they know how to stick to them. At the moment, Divine Dead are testing those plans by going straight for the steal. Of course, the DMAT is going to cause some problems. Roma finds the kill as Alone in Paris goes through. Hardexen and Nuok left scrambling. Nuok misses his winch, not landing the shots either. And finally, he's taken down by NoahX. Hardexen does take out his opposite number in Roma and Renko. Now it's a 1 versus 1, and the medium of NoahX has to run for the hills, but he does have that defib. Finally brings up his teammate. Yep, we do see AKs here. And trust in Noah, because he's one of the best AK players in EU, nay, the world. And he has done just exactly what his name has meant to. He's good.
Yeah.
I can't finish that sentence.
Yeah.
He done good.
He did his job. He did what was advertised. That was great. Great clutch from him. He was able to get the stairs, get up the stairs, get the remount on his or the defib on his teammate, and finish off that 1v1. And on this side of the map, it looks like Gungala was able to take this team and or take this box, and we're going to be in a pretty even match in terms of the top 2. No team getting more kills or more effective map damage than the other.
I'm just realizing that we were spectating a guy whose name is incomprehensible. Jurgen. Don't worry about the rest of that guy's name. It's just Jurgen. We go with Jurgen. The rest
I've heard it. Yep.
Good, yeah. Of course, he's a well-known player, very talented heavy in the mix of things. So we're definitely going to see more of him and have to say his name a lot more.
Right. Well, he'll definitely be one to talk about. But now it looks like we are going to have Burnt Nuggets getting this tap. They're going to be set up the gateway. The gateway can be, used to traverse 70 meters, and then you can throw it for a little extra. So you'll see a lot of light. Take jump pads and take everything, having the corner, the number of meters away that their gateway is at in the corner of their screen, and just making sure they get the longest range possible, so their medium and heavy doesn't get jumped as quickly. And they were able to get that successfully across the map, as we have Gungala and Burnt Nuggets fighting, or Divine Dead fighting on this side of the map. That's another sledgehammer. Are we going to see a sledge in every lobby?
Yeah.
Do you have that insight?
Pretty much. And yeah, it's very popular. Maybe the last map, I'm looking at the lineup of heavies. Yeah, there's definitely potential there as well. Lots of kills coming out in the kill feed. And yeah, it's just a very popular weapon. Even on Cis Horizon, which you would think is like one of the worst for the sledge, but it's... Some heavies just manage to make it work, and they have their comfort picks. Rainka as well, a newer name on Aimers Blue, has been very impressive in his last few games since the split and since that roster shuffle. Aimers Blue just continuing to push up the top of the standings, but they are going to have about a minute to try and turn this cash out in, well, turn it red, basically.
Right. And what you'll see a lot of sledge heavies do is actually feint the right click. So they'll have it primed, waiting for anybody to walk into specific doorways or specific spots when they're trying to steal or protecting a steal. And they will they have their secret tech. There's probably a Discord somewhere, but that steal goes off without nothing to stop it.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a
strange.
little bit of damage.
I think the positioning of the Stealer was just underneath the toppled box. It made it very difficult to force through. The drop and the winch is going to be enough to deny this, but a lot of damage sent the way of Gungala in the meantime as well. Remka finds his kill. Honeyback Demon trading onto Noah X. It's only Lasker. Very good light in this situation. And the res comes through. Lasker taken out. Honeyback Demon picking up Lasker, but now they've decided not enough time. Or rather, a reposition to try and get this done, but the winch is good enough. That is ridiculous. I cannot believe that worked out. The nullifier is not good enough. Very sneaky positioning from the heavy on the side of Gungala. Excellent from Jurgen.
Right.
Sorry, Aimers Blue. Aimers Blue won that. What am I talking about? I'm so lost.
in those situations against a heavy, if I'm 2v1ing a heavy and they have 10 seconds left on the cash out and they have sledge, it's very over. Like, it's not in my head, it's like, just go next. Like, he's gonna drop it down, he's gonna one tap the first guy he sees. Like, I'm gonna get jumped on. I'm not confident that anything can kill that heavy within time.
If you're a DMAT medium in a tall enough building, you can drop him as he runs towards you. That's like the one thing. I don't know. And
then he just winches you. It really is
true. Yeah, it's so little you can do.
Or you're just gonna winch the box anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes through the DMAT hole. You never know.
Never mind.
Yeah, there's probably a Discord with all the tech that sledge users use, because it's been very apparent in all my ranked games recently.
Well, the one that gets me, honestly, is probably because it's a newer thing, is the juggling the minigun. And I know, like Embark mentioned, they might be doing something about that, but it's when you watch players like Lamp juggling a minigun, it's like, how do you maximize this movement? It's so impressive. But we don't see as much minigun over here in EU. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe it's an NA Discord that you're talking about. Who knows?
I like to think about it as like in fighting games, you'll never get good until you fight somebody and get destroyed by somebody good. So like if you only play casually or locally, you won't see like the top players ever. But if you go beat them and you start learning, it's just experience.
The pool of talent does make a big difference, doesn't it? A rising ship, a rising tide raises all ships. And here we go. We've got some fighting going on. We should probably start wittering, shouldn't we? Raimka finding some kills, and we are on the final wave of cash outs. How has that happened? Roma finds deserved, and that is a wipe on Burnt Nuggets, who are really looking a bit overcooked so far today. Aimers Blue standing out in front. They've got enough of a buffer as well ahead of Gungala to stay in first. At the moment, Divine Dead, the question is whether they can cause some problems for, well, it looks as though they're going for Gungala's cash out, which would only put them in second. But yeah, Aimers Blue have that aura about them, same as Aimers Red in the last 3 games, or last 4 games rather. And it is going to be all over on cash out A that most of the action takes place for the next minute or two, I think.
Yeah, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of action in this corner of the map. That winched box is that's a crazy spot. There's only a few things that you can do to really, you know, make the angles less to get that steal. But it looks like there is going to be a lot of fighting happening. That's going to be the first kill pick on the light. That SA heavy in this spot, he knows he needs to go for the point, and he has the escape gateway that teams like setting up. But that C4 gas mine or C4 barrel. Oh, there's another gas mine on there. It did not get hit though. That's going to be good, and this should be a 1v3.
They didn't turn around for the heavy coming out of the gateway. He manages to winch the stealer, but no, it is good enough. Divine Dead does secure the steal, and Alone in Paris, the last alive, gets taken out by the falling gas canisters. There's a chance to steal this back. Have they got enough time? That's the question. What do you think?
I believe they do. I believe they do.
It's going to be so close.
I'm bad at the game.
No, you're bad at the game, STN.
I would have lost.
Wow, we've got 20 seconds left on this final point, and it is currently in Aimers Blue's hands. They've managed to deal a lot of damage onto the nearby team of Burnt Nuggets, who clearly picked the wrong fight, and there's no chance here. That is the wipe. Nagiri taken out in his new light role. There have been some recent swaps around in Burnt Nuggets, maybe feeling that burn right now. Aimers Blue comfortably at the top, but how about that play from Divine Dead?
That was amazing. All 3 of them kind of sat on the box, and the sludge or the heavy that was coming in off that gateway, which was a very good gateway. It was getting the heavy in for the winch. Unfortunately, he did miss the winch on the cash box itself, or he was going for the stealer, and it was body blocked. So that was exactly what Divine Dead needed to do. That was exactly what they wanted to happen. Maybe a little close on comfort for the time, but it is what it is. They take second place.
Look at that jackpot scoreline in Aimers Blue, the 777s. That's really that's so satisfying to look at. Just take it in.
Yeah.
You don't see that very
often. The combat score almost to match. We have Roma, the light, typically getting the most combat score in the game, so that makes sense. You'll notice
plenty of
that
assists as well. Only 10 assists.
Right, yeah. Each assist gives you 100 combat score, so you can do the math. That's 1K of combat scored just in assists. So
wow.
a lot of stuff coming out from him. But yeah, you'll notice. Yep,
I was a little bit mistaken, actually. I mentioned Burnt Nuggets, Nagiri being on the light. I've got my lineups wrong. Deserved on the heavy is another switch. The last time we saw Burnt Nuggets, I think Palmer was playing. He must have been subbed out for today. So yeah, again, another shift of roles all across the board here. It's a little bit unusual, and I think it's probably going some way to explaining why they looked so off. You know, this is not a bad side, Burnt Nuggets. They were 5th seed going into today, and they've been very impressive today, or in past days. That was a really, like I said, undercooked performance from them.
Right, yeah, you can definitely chalk that up to you know, the difference in the roles. You know, it's maybe not being too comfortable with each other yet, or just playing against the people that they're playing. Things didn't quite click that first game, but we're going to be moving on in a little bit here. Let's see if things can turn around for that squad.
Yeah, they have plenty of time to adjust. And, you know, this first game, obviously they've been warming up today, but nothing is the same as actually being in the server with all of these teams in front of you. So we'll see if they can turn it around. Divine Dead getting a 2nd place finish is absolutely huge for them, considering at the moment they're right down the bottom or near the bottom of the standings, and with a possibility of climbing into that yellow zone on the last day of the group stage. If they manage to get, you know, into that 8th or 7th place spot and stay there for today, then they'll have had a really impressive late surge, because I don't think I've seen them at all outside of that bottom 4 all season. It's absolutely possible for them now.
Right, and just to reiterate the importance of placements right now, these last, what has it been, 16 days of play? I'm sorry,
well, 8,
1, 2,
but
8
across 2 regions. So
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, we can say that. So 8 days of play for everybody. This is all going into the next bracket of seeding. So if you start 9th through 12th, then you are in the losers bracket already and only have one game to get out. But that the importance of being in that top 8 is very apparent, and these teams know that.
Those losers bracket games as well are best of ones. So it's really ruthless if you do manage to end up in there. You really only have that one life, whereas the upper bracket are all best of 3s. So yeah, you really want to be in the upper bracket if you have any say in the matter. And right now, yeah, Divine Dead have given themselves some say. They are going to get started by tapping this vault number 2 ahead of the team we're currently watching, Aimers Blue. So they couldn't have asked for a more unlucky spawn in terms of who they're contesting. In fact, at the moment, it looks as though Aimers Blue have decided, you know what, we don't care about that. We're going to go and aim for the teams that are a bit more of a direct threat to us. This is the macro coming into play. Burnt Nuggets and Gungala over on that other vault. And Aimers Blue want to knock them down a few rungs.
Right, and you'll see this sometimes where one team opts to not face the other good team just so they could get, and even their positioning probably went into account in their decision. Just having Church and having the high ground right there, the box being out in the open and them having a sledgehammer, like you really have way limited options compared to the opposition. So they are just going to let them get that free plug. It is going to lose them tempo, however, because it looks like these two teams that were fighting each other. They do get the third. Oh, that was a great gateway that was set up. The tempo actually being restored a little bit there. Now Divine Dead might not be able to cross map after their after that first box is finished, whoever ends up taking it.
Both Gungala and Burnt Nuggets are going to feel really hard done by, right? Imagine you're in that situation, you're fighting over this box for ages, and then suddenly Aimers Blue, who haven't even been wiped, you know, they maybe assume, oh, Aimers Blue, they're just biding their time against Divine Dead, they're going on that other cash box. They just pull the rug on both teams, and they've gotten already now a good 40 seconds or so progress on this cash out. We see the jump pad engage. This is quite a nice one, though, from low ground. Means that they're going to be able to find a quick engage at the top, but unfortunately no one at the top waiting for them, so the DMATs come through. Honeypack Demon now just waiting. They're setting up shop. They're probably going to be baiting Aimers Blue in at this point. They finally find contact and the shots come out onto Raker. Very nice stuff. Honeypack Demon going ham, and Jurgen finishing off Noah X as well. Only one left, and it is Roma who does manage to win that fight, but only by a hair. And the steal is going to be successful here. No, it isn't, because of course that gateway is there, and a great burst down. Excellent repositioning, and he's forced this back from a 1v3 into a 1 versus 1.
That was an incredible play. I mean, it looks like the coinage, the medium and the heavy are going to be coining in, and
wow.
Yeah, Noah coming off of that coin, going to be taking, and that is a wipe. A very big shift in the fight right there. That was great until it wasn't.
Yeah, and a big shift being put in by Roma to do it. That's excellent gameplay. Winning the 1 versus 3, letting his team coin back in, and there wasn't even a steal. He denies it. That should be pretty much point defended for A as well, because I don't see anyone spawning in. Certainly the team they just wiped isn't going to get there in time. So let's turn our attention to the other side of the map right now, where Burnt Nuggets are currently facing off against Divine Dead, and it looks like only one player less left on that purple side. He's going to get wiped out sooner rather than later. It is the heavy, and that is a clean wipe. An excellent defense, rather not a defense. Divine Dead did manage to stall long enough for that point, so the wipe didn't matter in the end.
Right, and it being the World Tour rules, you know, you don't lose money on the wipe. Macro-wise, sometimes it's even better to wipe so that you can, you know, assess your situation. You know where you spawn, you know where all the enemies are because you've been flying around. You can really assess and make correct decisions on just having the information that other teams don't. So macro-wise, sometimes it's good to wipe. You know, it really is dependent on the situation, but right now it looks like we're going to have Aimers Blue being contested by Gungala. They are going to be taking the high ground, even though the box is super far to the left. Oh no, they're opting to just chase. They want to cut them off, actually. They don't want to just chase. They're cutting them off. They want to get ahead of them.
And it's quite a long route that they're opting to take. In fact, Burnt Nuggets are waiting even further ahead of them. So Aimers Blue have to mow not just through one, but two teams en route to their cash out. And they have dropped the bot to try and engage here. In comes the winch. Honeypack Demon left really high and dry there by his team, but the cover is there by the heavy. Roma and Lasky find kills. Both mediums are down. Raimka swinging for all his might, but Lasky is there with the back shots, as you'd like to say. And there is the recovery. But no, no, the spray comes in. Roma dealing with Lasky, and that is the wipe onto Gungala.
1 HP.
1 HP in a dream. Aimers Blue held onto it for long enough. The plug did come out in that time, and it's been stolen by Divine Dead since then.
Yeah, Divine Dead opting to not...
That's the other plug. The plug that I was talking about was done by Burnt Nuggets, who were just waiting. They pulled an Aimers Blue. They did what they did in the first cash out.
Yeah, it really goes to show sometimes getting that plug is just not worth it. if you lose your tempo, if you lose your footing, you know, you lose your confidence in some fights. It really sometimes is just better to throw that away.
Sometimes
that is a huge drop down.
Yeah, sometimes you read a fight and you're like, there's no way they lose this, right? Like, the positioning was perfect, and you could just see all of the damage coming out. Norton does finally get Roma. He doesn't get away with quite the same antics that he did on the last try. Meanwhile, this cash out is being defended fervently by Jurgen and Lasky over on the far side of things. Or rather, they're the ones attacking. They're trying to find it. It's Hard XN who finds the double at the end of it. 1 versus 2 from the light to secure the cash out for Divine Dead as we hop back over to see.
And that's exactly what you want from your light right there. Always being the last one alive. You know, your mediums with your heavy, preferably going in first, unless the Serb is in play. But the light being there to quickly clean up and take care of the people that are low, playing his angles and doing as much as he can to, stall the box.
Yeah. I'm currently asking chat what STN stands for. Okay, they can come up with something.
I
think
see. There is an answer.
They probably have
and some people know.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I think they're going to come up with some far more interesting answers. I'm sorry. Whatever the answer is, this is going to be way more interesting. So.
We'll it's not nearly as interesting.
We'll check back in with chat once they've had a few goes at that. Sorry in advance, by the way. I'm here to make entertainment.
No,
I'm sorry
it's fine.
This is at your expense. Although, maybe they'll be nice.
Well, the first answer was stink, so we're going to walk past this and talk about the game again. It looks like both cash outs are going to be done, and 5 and 6, the tempo-wise, 5 was going to be done way earlier than 6. However, I'm sorry, 4 and 3. Now 5 and 6 are going to be plugged in roughly at about the same time. So there is going to be not that huge stagger that we saw in the set of second boxes. But it looks like Jurgen right now is going to be getting destroyed, almost dying, but gets away with... Never mind.
Yeah. Unfortunate there for Jurgen. But no, it's getting the plug as well on A. They've been pretty good at that the past 2 times of being asked. And at the moment, Aimers Blue, in fact, everyone looks like they're trying to converge on 6. They're more concerned with the second tap and plug. There's going to be a 3-way melee over on Vault 6, so let's go have a look at that, if you don't mind, our beloved Observer Burrito. It has been tapped successfully by Divine Dead, and it looks as though Aimers Blue are going in at them right now in a 3 versus 3. Noah dealing a lot of damage there to his opposite number. Out comes Chaos. I thought that was
sorry.
I thought it was a KS23. You're right, it is a Serb. Alone in Paris, finally bringing out your favourite weapon. Nuok manages to kill himself with the RPG. That cannot have been intentional, presumably dealing a lot of damage to someone else, but Alone in Paris. Wow, some great shots there. It's not quite a wipe though. 1 versus 1. Roma out in the open, but can he find him? Oh no, here's Gungala. Even more problems to have to deal with. Gungala have come in and swept up the Vault 6. Once again, a third party on a Vault pays off.
Right, and that's the plug. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have Burnt Nuggets halfway through that point, and it looks like they're going to be pushed by Gungala here. I'm sorry, Aimers Blue in a second after they get their coins in. But yeah, that's going to be the team that you want to beat. They're going to end up in first, so any other team would have to beat them unless Divine Dead was able to take Gungala's point. But right now, it's in a very bad spot, so let's see the pad from behind. We saw it earlier, we saw it again. It's a very good pad, you'll see it a lot. And the light's going to be throwing his sonar, going to be getting that info for his team, going to be playing behind a little bit. No glitches, I noticed. That's probably the first light I've seen not running glitches. You see glitches a lot, but that's going to be a very, very swift wipe. That sonar, grenade, DMAT, everything just chasing them down. And it looked like Burnt Nuggets was not ready for that at all.
Absolutely not. And Aimers Blue stealing that with only a smidgen of time left will secure them, well, first place for now, but the steal coming through against Gungala may make a difference depending on who gets it. At the moment, it's only Divine Dead who are up. Jurgen dealing some fat damage with that SA-1216, but not enough to finish the job. He's going to send out some more, and, well, at the moment, Divine Dead are kiting away as much as they can. The res comes through as well. So this is 1 versus, or 2, or 3 versus 3 right now. Unfortunately, though, they may have missed their chance. There's only 7 seconds left. The steal is coming in, and this is it's actually from Burnt Nuggets, who get winched out of position, and it will be Gungala to see it through, securing a second-place finish just behind Amers Blue.
And that just shows that perseverance and just sometimes getting lucky will push you through the finals. Like it is crazy how many times we've seen 4th place teams get to 2nd, sometimes even 1st with those last boxes. Just with all the money being spread out evenly, anything can happen in the finals. You really have to be there at all times.
Yeah, you really have to. And we have a look at the standings, the scoreboard, and the kills. And Roma, I could have guessed he was top if you had to, gun to my head, ask me who came top of the kills in that game. I would have definitely said Roma. Surprising though to see both Lask and Hard XDN quite close behind with 7 apiece. So the Lights are really doing some heavy lifting across those top 3 teams. Standings really close together as well. The cash spread pretty even in this game. And yet still, Amers Blue are the ones ahead of the pack. So, Gungala with a 2nd place finish is good for them. Unfortunately for Divine Dead, they slip into 3rd here. But still definitely the opportunity for them to collect a couple more. I think maybe another 3rd or 4th place finish would put them out of contention. If I'm just sort of guessing, spitballing roughly how much they need to try and get into that top 8.
Right, and just to reiterate, that top 8 is very important for the seeding into next week. You do not want to start in losers. For those who don't know, we have another bracket going on next Saturday, the 10th. It's going to be, NA, EU, same timing, same everything. It's going to be further pushing the seedings going into the Champ Series. But starting in that 1 through 8 spot, you're going to be in winner's side. You're going to have a best 2 out of 3 and then drop to losers. But if you're 9 through 12 at the end of these games, at the end of this entire bracket this day, you will be in losers bracket off the jump, which is not what you want.
All right, SCM, while we're waiting for this game to load in, which isn't very long, so we'll keep this brief, I have a friend who is convinced that thermal and smokes are the best gadgets for Light right now. Could you please explain to them why they're wrong?
So, I'm kind of torn here. We're getting into this game, so I won't talk too long. But Smoke is actually in a kind of strong spot right now. It's not the craziest. Well, definitely Gateway and Glitches are the craziest. I think Light just has a lot of crazy things. The playstyle of Smoke is can be annoying for the heavy and medium, and any other Light that doesn't have thermal. So Smoke stealing is definitely a strat, especially in ranked.
Absolutely, it does happen in
So
ranked.
it's not the best, but it is annoying.
He's complaining about ranked and even World Tour. So fair enough. And yeah, it does get seen a little bit, but you're right. It's just not as good as Glitches and Gateway. You got to have those. Even Sonar, I would argue, has a little bit more utility for the team. But we are seeing a good mix. And it's great that debate can be had, right? You compare it to, say, the Heavy, who's got a pretty fixed loadout in terms of gadgets, but the Lights and the Mediums have a lot more kind of leeway for the majority of cases at the top level. Right now, we're having a look at Amers Blue, who have done their customary first plug. It feels like they've won the first plug in pretty much every game so far. Noex going... Oh, no, sorry, not Noex. Who's this? The Light player, Norton, heading over to do some scouting with the rest of his team as Burnt Nuggets close in on B.
Right, this is going to be a very weird fight. It looks like the DMAT is going to come through. The Heavy and Medium going to be staying together. That O2 barrel not going to do anything because of the bubble, and that is not where you want to be. A sledge right in front of your face in a close quarter situation. Oh, and a little bit of a... I think his mouse 1 was stuck on the body. Actually, that was Roma. His right trigger was stuck on the body. Not really sure what happened there, but emptying the clip on the trophies. Very fun to see some banter between the contestants here. Roma absolutely destroying this lobby so far. So if there's somebody to do it, it's him.
Interestingly, we've got Gungala coming in after B as well. Divine Dead being left to their own devices. So this is, again, the kind of macro of the top or the higher 3 teams wanting to take each other down a little bit. the jump pad into DMAT to get a decent position. They're going to go for another DMAT to get the long-range angle. Of course, finding these shots through the DMAT can be a little bit finicky at the best of times, but they do a decent job. And actually, I say that, they took no damage, Aimers Blue. So, in fact, they did a much better job defending. They now take the position on the stairs and deal quite considerably with the players beneath them. Jurgen taken out, Lasky taken out, and that is a clean wipe onto Gungala. They don't even have any pressure against them, or rather, no, sorry, yeah, they do. Those are health bars way off in the distance as we see Burt Nuggets come out, well, underneath Divine Dead, who have defended their first cash out very successfully, and that'll just be 2 cash outs going the way of Aimers Blue and Divine Dead respectively.
Right, that this map is this map Fortune is very favored by Sledge players. There's a lot of places, and just the angles that are created is very liked by them. So the heavy being in that spot exactly where he needs to be with his light on smoke or just a smoke barrel next to him. No one can see that, and there's nothing in the game that can kill him fast enough besides maybe a double barrel. But we're not seeing many of those. So just being able to defend a point with Sledgehammer in those exact spots, in those situations, and putting the cash out where you want it is exactly what they, is netting them these wins.
Honeypack Demon just finishing off that kill there on Noah X to confirm the wipe against Aimers Blue. So they'll be quite happy to be the next strongest side in the lobby for just a small moment. Norton has res his teammate and deserved, and Nagiri are all up and waiting to bear down on this vault. The other catch out has been started successfully. Divine Dead completely uncontested in that regard, but they are defending the center of the map, which can be a little bit tricky at the best of times. No, rather, that is the far side. That is the Assault building. So Nagiri sending his team over there. Burnt Nuggets going to come into contention with Divine Dead very shortly.
Right, I actually like this from Burt Nuggets. They noticed that the box, this is what we were talking about in between games actually, just letting the box getting plugged, not really messing with the team that needs to plug it. As this fight goes out, they're just gonna fight Divine Dead, one dead, that's a trade on each. The Serb is going kind of crazy. It's a 1v1. Is he gonna take this? He does not get the full pump or the burn. He needs to reload. A little bit of a flub, missed shots, but he is going to expect him to go down. He called that he went down, so his teammate dropped as well, but it looked like the heavy on Divine Dead went up. So we're going to have a little bit of a reset situation from both teams, and that is going to be a full reset on the side of Divine Dead. Still holding this cash out. Deserved, getting out with his life, waiting for his team to coin in. They're going to have another shot at this, but not for very long. It's only going to be like a 30-second fight before that 7-second timer is going to tick out.
C is going to come under pressure a little bit, but we will keep our attention on D as the timer is a lot less here. Nagiri taking a lot of damage there, trying to bail himself and his teammate out, and does so successfully, but they have been forced back. Not what they want, considering just how long it's going to take for this medium with the F-car to regen his health. You've also got Gungala, who decided to come in above, and now it seems as though Burnt Nuggets are going to cut their losses and turn their attention to the other site. We have Gungala now, the prime. Well, we've got the two teams not attacking the cash out, just TDMing in the middle of the map now. They have to try and wipe each other to give either side like a hope of attacking anything. Deserved finds that kill onto Lasky. Norton finding Honeypack Demon now. It's only one up on Gungala, and they're trying to hunt him down. But amidst all of this, Divine Dead very happy to just wait out the timer. They can even just, they can even turn their attention to, well, they have, the world is their oyster. They can do what they want.
So that situation doesn't come up often, but when it does, it sucks for the teams that are fighting. You're fighting the team that are trying to third, and at the same time, like, both of you are not getting any progress going towards the other box. But it looks like this Sledge, hold that thought, it's going to come in and they are going to successfully defend. That's going to keep Aimers Blue in first.
Yeah, very solid defense of that, and I don't think there's any time for any other party to come this way. So we're going to have a look over at the other vault to see what's going down over there. Looks like Gungala and Divine Dead fighting over Vault 6. Burrito, wake up. We want to look at Vault 6, please. It's a fighting there. Lasky and, well, Lasky and Lasky.
Vault 5, yeah.
Lasky wins. Lasky is the one that wins.
Lasky, yep.
Yeah.
There's going to be a quick wipe on Divine Dead, and right now this is where you don't want to be in Divine Dead. Losing this vault fight and not being able to third the other one to secure your first is not where you want to be. You definitely want to have that tempo and get your plug and your points before Aimers Blue is able to get theirs to go third them later. But seeing as they wiped, now they have a little bit more options. They can. It's interesting what they're going to choose to do. But it looks like we're going to have Gangala versus Burnt Nuggets going to be fighting for this other plug. Both boxes are going to be Hospital and Clinic. So just getting this across, are they looking to
Oh, they're
double?
doubling it. They have
I don't
to,
know
because they're so far behind, right? Burnt Nuggets are dead last and with barely a coin to their name. So they have to double this for any hope of not coming last. Or are they just crossing that threshold and going all the way to B?
They are crossing.
They're going to fight for... It's
Okay.
barely even second. It's barely even second if they do this, though. I feel like they should double.
I would have called the double personally.
Yeah, look, they're not going to have
they're-
much fighting come their way. So, I don't know. If Divine Dead can get a few kills, then that's basically a plug that's guaranteeing third, if anything. Gangala have been wiped, though, so they're in a decent position. We'll have a look at A right now. Of course, Aimers Blue looking to try and steal this back to secure first place.
Right, and looking they're going to be taking that little Rainbow Six angle from the Cubby, the little drone hole shooting him through. But he saved his bubble very well. Oh, and another drop. That was, that's going to be that was a second drop. No DMATs were used, and all the cooldowns on the heavy were used. They're going to fight because they don't have any cooldowns to get this flip.
Yeah, they have to try and get the kills, and really, we're going to watch Nuok for a little bit and see if he can pull those out. Wait for his cooldowns to come back. He's got the barricades, he's got the domes, even the RPG is going to be handy when it comes to securing the kills. But he meets the entire Gangala team, the whole squad, all three on one. And now they've got
unlucky.
they've got a lovely top-down angle. Gangala now going for the steal as they do have that utility, but in comes the defensive squad. Wow, Jürgen taken out. Renko finds that kill, and Divine Dead, well, they've just done enough to secure their cash out for the time being. Nuok is waiting above. He's got that dome protecting himself from the vertical shots. Renko looking to steal, but Nuok's having none of that. He's on a smidgen of HP, and he gets rid of that quite quickly. Only 30 seconds left now, and the question is whether Burnt Nuggets can hold on to this to secure a measly third place.
Right, obviously a little hindsight, but if you're Aimers Blue and notice that second point was across the jump pad and they were not getting taxed at all, I mean, they basically got this third place for free. Still a third, but maybe you might opt to just leave the 3v3 or leave the 3v6 and go into that 3v3. But that is going to be the secured third place for Burnt Nuggets. Divine Dead finally getting that first that they've been looking for. They were clawing at the last two games.
Yeah, and a very important one as well. Because, yeah, Aimers Blue really suffering in that map. Gangala doing quite a good job of it as well. Like this was a really interesting map. It just threw everything up in the air. We saw a massive swap of the standings. Divine Dead, like you say, getting that first place, absolutely huge for them in the grand scheme of things. They didn't even really need to frag out of their minds. Hard XN, I've never seen him with a 0 stat line. Like, he's a great light player, been really impressive on this new look Divine Dead roster since he's been introduced, and he didn't need to frag out. Nuok was really the hero of that, playing the objective very, very neatly in those final few minutes, and perhaps Divine Dead benefiting a little bit from the tunnel visioning of other teams in this game. They really didn't seem to want to come to tackle anything that looked purple.
Right, they were they attempted to, but there was potential for the hospital team to get pushed, and that's just not what happened. But those are the choices in the game. That's why this game is great. You know, you can predict your own downfall sometimes if you make the incorrect call. But everyone is attempting to reach the top, reach the finals, do as best as they can, and all these players are doing fantastically so far.
Yeah, it's always worth noting that whenever we're talking about these players and saying, oh, these ones are struggling, they're not doing as well as these other players, like, this is the cream of the crop we're talking about in the finals. Anyone that's worth their salt is playing in these leagues, and even the teams down the bottom of the barrel, as we were calling it on Wednesday, with a bit of tongue-in-cheek, were, it's a barrel that's at the top of the biggest tower in the world. Like, it's a really really prestigious barrel. So yeah, it's great to see these teams turn up every week in, week out, and really give it their all, even if they're in with very little shot of what's of the big sort of rewards at the end of it all. But at the moment, that's not the case. We're seeing Divine Dead, who were starting off the day in 10th, really bring it. And they finally won a map, finally unseated Aimers Blue at the top of that pyramid, and we have one more WAP. It's going to be their own choice as well, so this could make a big difference to their playoffs push.
Right, we're going to get into it in a little bit, but I just wanted to talk about just the difference of light gameplay. I mean, you see so many different weapons. Obviously, we were talking about the staple meta gadgets before, but in terms of weapons, we haven't really talked much. We've seen a lot of MP5. Once that was buffed at the beginning of the season, it was everyone's favorite beforehand, and it's still everybody's favorite. You have the Matter come in on NA and EU. I noticed you don't really see many double barrels, but of course we can't forget the bow on Pharos. When I subbed in that day, that was a shock to me. It was like tree trunks on ping. It was very crazy.
Yeah, he's firing something different. He doesn't have regular arrows, no way. Ferris, yeah, I miss him. I've missed the fact that we haven't seen in the past few playdays, but his losses can't affect his gain, and our own as well. Getting to see Carnifex in action over the past 2 days has been really exciting too. Alone in Paris going out into the open with the Cerberus, not the most highly recommended of moves. They back on up as Aimers Blue sniffed blood in the water. They decided to engage off the back of that, and Hard XDN punishes them for that, taking out the heavy with no chance of recovery as well. This is a really odd move. Aimers Blue, I feel like, with a bit of a misstep there. Oh.
Right, you definitely want to hold that high ground, but Noah X going to be absolutely frying the light on rotation. They are going to get the taps. That's another K for them. They're going to be up, one of the top teams in the lobby currently, and that's going to be a reset on the other side of the strip.
Worth noting that it is a 1v1 on the other side of that. Lasky and Nagiri seeing it out, and it is Lasky that comes out on top. We're so used to saying that about him, but that's a wipe successful for Gungala. And on the other side, there's still that long 3v3 going on. We see a gateway being used by Divine Dead to get out of the picture and finally get that plug. They've really stepped up a notch when it comes to their just decision making, getting those plugs, getting the vault going, and they've forced Aimers Blue into a bit of a 180 here.
Right, and now we're just seeing every team on rotation. We're seeing what everybody wants to do. We're trying to get this plug as quickly as possible. It's just going to keep being thrown, and that Serb is going to find the heavy with the goo gun in his hand.
Okay.
First goo gun I've seen, and he's not going to die, but he is going to be put very low.
Oh.
Is that going to be a double?
He's an agent of chaos.
Oh, I like this. We're partying today.
Oh yeah, we saw a lot of doubling in the first few playdays of EU. It sort of tapered off a little bit, but I really want to see more action like this. Remka going in deep. We've got, like you say, the goo gun. Very unusual, but it's so useful for exactly that reason. Just plugging,
Poor guy.
sticking Dalton in,
Oh,
in
no.
place. So he's on a rampage. I don't feel like he has an objective here besides kill. He's just got eyes glazed over with red right now.
He punched through the box and then just started walking through people.
Wow, yeah. He is an agent of chaos. He's here to double boxes and get kills. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah, and if you're Divine Dead in this situation, in these lobbies against these players, everyone's baiting each other. Nobody's gonna go in first and be the team to start stealing. It's just gonna be one person trying to bait it like that, the light going in. But you really have the best chance of winning the doubled box if you own it already. You can't get sidetracked. You can't get found instantly. As I say that, they're gonna lose it as we speak, but they still have it. I mean, a lot of fighting and a lot of deaths going on both sides of the scoreboard, on all four sides. I mean,
yeah, it's really difficult to read exactly who's in a good position. Burnt Nuggets, though, they are out for the count. And Remka emoting here. Wow. He's not even defending his own cash out here. He's just decided, yeah, I am going to be the bad guy in this
it's
match.
not his. He does not care.
No, he could have gone for a steal, why not? But at the moment, it's being well protected, and Divine Dead are happy to take that cash out. Once again, maybe Aimers Blue, like, you know what? It doesn't matter to us if Divine Dead do well in this game. We might as well defend for them, griefing the other two teams a little bit. Aimers Blue, though, come in with the frags that they know that they can get whenever they want to. They just got to switch it on, I guess.
Right, everybody's just trying to have fun, you know. This all goes into next week, so you know, you kind of know where you stand now. You know what to work on, what to improve on, and the last day of 12 mans is going to be a lot different next week in threes.
Aimers Blue.
Next week is 3v3s.
I think Aimers Blue at this point as well, after not winning that last map, are like absolutely mathematically out of contention for first place specifically. So maybe that's why we're seeing a little bit of movement and trolling and emoting and all this stuff. This is what happens at the end of a group stage. You get some games like this. Ooh, a nullification on Norton. He can't interact with anything, in case you just turned up and you haven't seen this before. It's a new stun gun, but he does come out of the ethereal plane and deals a whopping 20 d10 damage to his opponents, and they fail all their death saves.
Yeah, getting sent to the Shadow Realm really quickly, only to come back to his friends all dead. Kind of put him into a state of fight or flight, and he chose to fight, winning the fight, and now his team's just gonna die again anyway.
Wow.
Oh, we're shooting bodies. That's what I like to see. Oh, we're emoting.
We're emoting. We're shooting.
We're taking
bodies.
pictures.
Yeah, getting all chat as well.
It doubled again.
Oh wow. 24k on the line here, and Divine Dead must be thanking their lucky stars. It's like everyone around them is like, you know what? You go, girls. Get into that top 8, and we will help you. It's a really interesting dynamic right now. Obviously, that's not what's happening, but Nuggets and Gungala still have a lot to fight for to protect their own standings and maybe even force themselves into a slightly more favourable seeding when it comes to those playoff brackets as well. They don't want to be facing the likes of Aimers Blue, Aimers Red, Saints 1 if they can avoid it. They want to be, you know, facing the likes of Divine Dead. They want to be facing the likes of Crutches and Zesties, etc., sort of in those 7th, 8th slots. So it does matter. There are still stakes on the line here for pretty much everyone involved, and it's going to be chaotic because, of course, we have this double already halfway elapsed, and the frags are going to start coming out.
Alone in Paris, staying alone for a while. He is going to go down, missing those serve shots. A lock bolted, not much he could do there against the light behind him. But his teammates are going to attempt to get his res. He is up and running, but they're getting ran down by Burnt Nuggets, who are going to take out the heavy. That is the winch player. The only other stall they have is the DMAT, so that DMAT player has to stay alive. The light has to look around and calm for him, tell him what to do, but he needs to hide. There's going to be a fairly useless fight going on in the street right now, really just deleting the Sledgehammer, who hasn't really been going for the point anyway. But it looks like Divine Dead is going to be holding C for a little bit.
All right, what's happening on the catch-out right now? We have an attempted steal from Gongala, who are underneath, but it looks as though they have been put off. And there's the jump pad under the DMAT, so excellent pre-planned delay. And like you said, that DMAT was really the only delay they had. Perfectly timed there by Alone in Paris to find his opening, keep himself alive for that crucial moment. And now, look at the world's most exciting bar graph in the top left-hand side of your screen. Divine Dead are virtually guaranteed first place. We may well see a double on the final cash-out, and that could maybe throw things into contention, but it's rare to say that at this point in the game, they might have already locked it out.
I think the team that doubles it needs to get both taps and both plugs, just see a little bit more sportsmanship going on. But it's only going to net them 38, just the money itself. So no team is in contention just yet. They're going to need a lot more kills and a lot more map objective score for themselves right now.
And Divine Dead getting this tap as well is surely just going to cement them in that position. So it's fight for second place realistically. Aimers Blue are ahead of the pack, but literally it will come down to whoever holds that vault at the very end. That being said, if Divine Dead hold it, it will come down to kills, which is very interesting. Deserved taken out by Noah X at range, really making this XP work the light. It's interesting to see Noah X on the light ahead of Roma. They have done a little bit of a role swap halfway through this group. Roma taking out Nagiri and being Norton taking out Lasky as well. Oh wow, Noah X doesn't want to be up here. This is very dangerous. But they are still in a decent position here. Gungala have that plug, and it's a doubled cash out. And to be honest, if they get enough kills, they could take first.
True. How many kills is that going to be?
Quick maths.
51. They're going to need 11 kills around.
Oh, well, it's plausible. It's absolutely plausible. But they would also need Divine Dead to be pretty much flaccid in that time as well. Raker taking out one, and of course any kill that doesn't go the way of Gungala is more likely that they will finish in second instead. But like I said, it just comes down to who owns it at the very end. We see a wipe against Aimers Blue. That is unusual, and with only about a minute left, they basically have one shot at trying to get this cash out once they're back in the lobby. Jurgen is on lights. Everyone's wait, they're an MLL. It only just clocked this.
Is everybody off rolling?
I think so. Yeah, we had.
Well, no, because Ray's been on sledge this whole time.
Yeah.
He's been doing his own
They've
thing.
been doing the right thing. Either way, we've got a steal coming through. It is forced off with that C4, and at the moment, still Gungala are in a firm second place. But the barricade is going to help Burnt Nugget to try and go for another steal. They are dead last right now. They really desperately need this to avoid having a dismal day at the office. Lots of kills coming out in many directions. It looks as though, as it stands, about 2 versus 2 versus 2 versus 2. Roma finds deserved, though. That's Burnt Nuggets almost burnt to a crisp. Only one real left on their side. They have the DMAP from Belief. It is Alone in Paris once again with that jump pad, ready to try and secure the game. Maybe a little bit preemptive, though, as there's still a little bit of time left. Kills coming in left and right, but in comes, I believe, Gungala with possibly the best chance at sealing it. But the gas is going to do enough to secure it. The Cerberus, obviously, is not going to burn that out of the way because it's benefiting Alone in Paris. Second place, going the way of Gungala, and Divine Dead rack up another first place finish.
Right, and like you said earlier, that's gonna definitely push them ahead. The EU seeding in the EU bracket definitely a lot closer in points compared to the NA, so everybody's very nicely clumped together almost.
Yeah, and Burnt Nuggets, man, like, that's 3 last place finishes and a third. It's not a good day for them at all, especially considering where they are in the standings and how, like, vulnerable that potentially makes them. I'm yet to work out, we haven't looked at the standings proper, but there's definitely a danger that they get knocked down a few places, and that could really cost them because, the seedings matter. You don't want to come up against these bigger teams if you can avoid it in that bracket, and they probably booked themselves a date with one of the better teams in this group as it stands. Look at the kills on Aimers Blue, by the way. They really were just playing for kills. That's insane.
Oh yeah. Definitely. They were allergic to the cash box. They were just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, that's, I think, 31 kills total. But yeah, that's just wrapping it up right now for Group B, and a group that really does turn the standings on its head. A very exciting group. Some of the weirdest gameplay that we've seen all season in EU, especially just Divine Dead earning an aura. I don't think I've seen that happen for a bottom 4 team at all this season. But yeah, everyone just seemed a lot more interested in going for those doubles at the very end. A triple double cash out on the final map of Vegas. I mean, if you're going to do it on any map, it makes sense. The land of coins, or I don't know, that's not what they call it. What would is there like some nickname for Vegas?
People gamble.
People gamble there.
People
that's
gamble
what it is.
there.
Yeah.
I've never been. I don't
Welcome
go.
to Vegas. People gamble here.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in charge of Vegas's tourism board. That would really suck. All right, well, SCN, we have a group remaining, a singular group. Crutches, Gamblers, Godlike Gamer, and Resit in Group C. Have you any thoughts about Group B before we head to a break? And, or actually, we do have the points. Maybe we can talk about the points.
Oh, this is great.
Oh, wow.
If Aimers Blue would have potentially tried to steal the cash box and not double everything, they definitely could have taken, or they definitely had a chance to take first here in the seedings, because as Aimers Red is already done, so that last map might have bitten them. I'm not sure what their call was on that, or if they wanted second.
I want to do the maths very quickly, because when they came second in Fortune, they basically forgo 30 points. They came third on Vegas, forgoing 70 points. That's 100 points total, and then the kills. Of course, they got a ton of kills at the end to help close that gap. I still think, basically, after Fortune, they were like, nah, we're not catching Aimers Red. They ran the numbers, and they're like, yeah, we're secure here. So that's probably what happened there. What I'm interested in is NTHX climbing into 8th. Of course, Gamblers yet to play, so that probably won't be safe. But Divine Dead climbing into 6th, and they are a good distance ahead of the rest of the pack. Of course, those bottom 4 teams that you're looking at right now, Gamblers, Crutches, Godlike Gamer, Resit, they are all about to play. So I can't do maths well enough.
Wow.
I can't do
I
maths
just
well enough
noticed.
to work out if that is safe for Divine Dead. Certainly, Zesties and NTHX are in danger.
Right. That was a very, very interesting points dispersion. When you see some of the days on NA, there'll be teams that I keep relating to NA just because that's what I know, that's what I've been playing. You'll see that even though some teams played already and some teams haven't, you'll see the teams that haven't played still be above just on how different the points are.
Yeah,
that just goes to show how like averaged and how a lot of the EU teams are playing very close to each other and, picking the correct things, maybe not, solidifying or soloing their lobby as much as there are, on the NA side of things. But it was very interesting to see all 4 of the teams that haven't played yet in the bottom 4. So there could be a lot of upsets happening here.
Yeah, we've been used to a very kind of set standings for the past few weeks in the EU, and at the very final day we have possibly the biggest switch up in those standings that we've seen all season. So it really is dramatic, and it's unlikely. It's so unlikely that it's played out like this as well. I love group stages for exactly this sort of drama. It is going to come down to the final few games. So you would be a fool to go anywhere. Do not adjust your TV sets. We will be back shortly with Group C.
Welcome to the Finals Pro League. This is the seasonal battleground where teams fight for dominance, bragging rights, and the ultimate title of regional and world champion. Season 1 kicks off with 2 qualifiers where only the strongest make it through. 3 teams from each qualifier will advance to the regular season. But getting there won't be easy. The format? A modified Swiss bracket. If you lose twice, you're out. Win 4 games and you punch your ticket to the league. Simple, brutal, competitive. In the regular season, the best 12 teams in each region battle it out over 2 intense splits, each lasting 2 weeks. Every split has 4 playdays, where teams are shuffled into fresh groups of 4. And if your squad isn't clicking, no worries. There's a short roster change window between splits. The format? Cash out. Placement and eliminations earn points, stacking up to determine playoff seeding. Only the top 2 teams in each region secure an automatic spot in the championship series, so every match matters. Out of the regular season and into the regular playoffs. The top 8 teams from the regular season start in the upper bracket, while the bottom 4 teams wait in the lower bracket, hungry to fight their way up. The format here is final round 3v3. Lower bracket is best of 1s until the semifinals, where it's best of 3. The upper bracket is best of 3s until the finals, which are a best of 7 showdown. Every playoff match earns teams points towards their season total, affecting their seeding for the grand finale, the championship series. 12 teams, 2 regions, 1 trophy. Welcome to the championship series. With an initial $500 prize pool and growing, this 2-day event will see the top 12 teams from both regions pitted against one another for the title of world champion. The top 2 teams from each region get a free pass to round 2. Every match is best of 3 until the upper bracket finals go to best of 5, and the grand finals, best of 7. Only 1 team will stand at the top when the dust settles. We'll see you in the arena where we'll find out who can reach the finals.
This isn't just a game. This is TNT. Welcome to the jungle and welcome to 8 Squad's Thursday Night Throwdown.
Featuring the game's top talent, pick up games where chimps become champions.
Thursday nights 8 to 10 p.m. every week, only on 8 Squad. Catch us live on air on Twitch at twitch.tv/8squadorg.
In the world of sports, every second counts. Every move matters. That's where a Spooze comes in, the sports beverage designed for champions. With a Spooze, it's simple as pop, pour, perform. Packed with electrolytes and essential nutrients to keep you hydrated and energized, Spooze is your go-to drink for peak performance. Whether you're just carrying the vault or securing the winning cash out, Spooze is there to fuel your victory. Its unique formula is scientifically designed to boost your stamina and focus. Spooze, for those who dare to excel. Pop, pour, perform.
The real world can be unfriendly, misleading, confusing. But your world doesn't have to be. Reality Shield will protect you, cutting out the noise, making the world perfect. We do not censor. We cultivate. Engimo.
That strange thought you just had, where did it come from? And was it even yours? Our new Series 2000 effectively suppresses third-party influence and eccentricity, outperforming our competitors within the standard deviation of conformity. With the Series 2000, your mind stays in control. Via, we as one.
The life giver. The sun, always on. The source of everything that is good. But can it be trusted? Holtau's Sun Insurance will have you covered if the unimaginable happens and the light goes out. Holtau, brighter than ever.
You know, June, every time I think I've seen it all, the finals proves me wrong. What a play!
That's one for the highlight reel, Scotty.
The next chapter in this epic saga is about to unfold. A storm of epic clashes is brewing this season of the finals!
The stars. Distant. Watching. When will they arrive? Will your family be disintegrated first or last? Will your family dog become their leader? With Holtau's alien invasion insurance, you don't have to worry. Alto, we got your back.
Absorbe ce que c'est. Monde, monde, pour misérables et fortunés. Ce que tu désires devenir, c'est ce que tu es. Alors, absorbe, absorbe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pro Hub's Regional Playday number 8, our final Playday of cash out of the group stage over here on EU. We do, of course, have the North American Playday happening just a bit later in a few hours' time, but we've got to wrap it up this side of the pond, and I am joined once again by the marvellous STN. We've had 2 of our groups play already, STN. They've been real doozies. We have our final group, which could really upset the I was going so well. Upset the apple cart.
No, it's been great. It's been an amazing time so far. We've had Aimers Red and Aimers Blue to cut from the same same coin. They're doing their best.
it's cloth.
No, it's coin now.
Yeah, we cut from the same coin. Sure. Yeah.
Same thing. But yeah, we're gonna move on here and get these last couple games in, another hour of this, and we'll be we'll be heading in. We can look at the score real quick. Gamblers, 1921, Crutches, Godlike Gamer, and Resit all at the bottom right now, but all having a chance to move up. Really, if you do the math a little bit, you can attain over 400 points if you win all 4 games. That's just 400 off wins, and then every point per kill.
Yep.
So attempting 1 win for each team, or averaging out 1 win a team, everybody is going to make it up. So you will have a lot of teams in the 6th, 7th, 8th spot getting trumped. Gamblers and Crutches having the most opportunistic views on that right now.
Yeah.
But that could put Zesties and NTHX in perilous spots. I mean, we can see what happens. Godlike Gamer or Resit could have Cinderella runs as we speak.
Yeah.
They might be cooking up things in the lab right now.
And the fact that Divine Dead managed to finish that last group as strongly as they did, putting themselves just above Zesties, could be like incredible for them. That could make all the difference today. But yeah, we'll have to see how the coins fall. And of course, this is the finals. There's plenty of coins to fall everywhere. Every single player on your screen right now is chock full of them. They don't have cells. It's just money. That's how this game works. You're made of gold, which sounds like you'd be more valuable, but if anything, you're more expendable that way.
Yeah, $500.
Yeah, that is the cost of a human body in this game. Wow, yeah. When you put it that way, it's depressing. Anyway, here we go. Let's get into the action. We've got a minigun revving up, and it's Folin's, one of our key minigun players over here. But of course, he's up against another, and that is on the side of Resit, the innocuous Temi Tim doing damage, and YOLO2D finishing off with the Cerberus as well. It's like they've not quite gotten that wipe, but they are hunting down the final players. Kiriki and Folin now up as that defib does come through successfully. Keppo does find Kiriki, though. The stand-in light doing well to keep that ball rolling, and Temi Tim will finish off Folin as well. On the other side of things, we had that wipe come up against Crutches, so fairly evenly paced cash-out's about to start.
Right, and you'll see there's a very good connection between the minigun and the Serb that we found, that a lot of I say we, I'm NA mostly. It's a very interesting dynamic where you have your heavy, you just send him in like a wrecking ball, and he's gonna take everybody's attention because he has that minigun. It's not just a single kill weapon like the SA was. He definitely commands that respect, but it looks like Crutches is gonna be going low ground to try and push up. And like I was saying, the Serb just makes a really nice partner to that, playing off of his hip, being able to insta-kill somebody. They're going to be playing these stairs, going to be pushed by Crutches right now, trying to snuff them out. And it looks like the D-mats and the Serbs are fighting. They're trying to run away, but it's not going to happen. Temi Tim's going to be ran down by a DB.
Oh, and there's the res coming out from YOLO2D. Temi Tim getting taken up. Everyone on the side of Resit at half HP, but they're doing the business. They find all the kills necessary just about, with Keppo tagging in as Warazal almost chewed his way through the whole of the team with the shack, but Keppo taken out by the insurgent gamblers, who third party at the most opportune moment barely had to break a sweat there, and they will happily get this steal.
Right, and that just shows the importance of fib in that, or defib in that fight before, making sure your medium stays alive, getting that res back up, but it is going to go to the third team anyway.
Yep, it does happen like that. It just do be like that sometime. And the spawns seem to indicate that Godlike Gamer are actually going to be the team that come under the most pressure here. Crutches are surging in towards that point. Gamblers have decided to go the other way, or sorry, rather, Resit have decided to go the other way. Good setup here right now.
We had a model hold this point earlier. Now we get to see what a FAMAS can do with A being out in the open like this. Hopefully we get to see good synergy between him and the light. But it looks like they are going to be moving back towards point just to, not let that advantage go to waste, keeping their high ground, keeping their kiting on this purple team as they surge into the point.
Yeah, it looks as though they've maybe done just enough as that gas will detonate. It doesn't look like... Oh, there is a Serb, but it's not bought them enough time, unfortunately. Warazal having to mesh shield, but doesn't cover his teammate either. And the cross angles are deadly here as Godlike Gamer splits up and fire across each other. protecting their cash and getting that cash out very successfully. Gamblers, in the meantime, had managed to wipe out Resit on the other side, and that will be a cash out for them as well. So, very clear lines in the sand drawn at the start of this group.
Right, we're going to see the kills being dispersed just a little bit here. Not many kills so far yet on this map 1. Looks like Godlike Gamer is going to be getting that tab, going to be fighting for control of this box. But the Serb coming in crazy right now. He hits 1, he hits 2. That's 2 kills for the Serb on Resit.
I was trying to work out what that tractor beam was. It was a pillar that had been dematted. I was like, it looked like a jump pad that despawned and left behind some particles or something. I was like, no, it's the pillar that's gone. A great wipe coming out there from Crutches that we just took our eye off for a second, but look at all of those names in the kill feed. Every single one of those Crutches members contributing to that wipe, and now they get the box and move straight on towards C without a care in the world.
Yeah, and both plugs will be happening. It's a little staggered, but really, as it being so far across the map, you're not really gonna go over unless the second place team that's been messing with you is over there. You make sure they don't get it. That's like the only way, or one of the only things to do if you're in first right now. And it looks like Gamblers are going to be in that spot, primed and ready. They're going to be waiting for them to get this point. The glitch is going to insta-pop, but with no Serb, that gas is going to be very hard to deal with. They're going to have to wait another 10 seconds for that and attempt to find and sniff out where Gamblers are playing from. And I believe they have. I believe they saw him right there. Yep.
Yeah.
And they take the gateway up. They had a pre-placed gateway to take high ground again. So we're going to have Gamblers on top, having that high ground. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we're going to have a wipe go off.
Oh, Cartone is taking a bit of a glitch there. Firing through that mesh shield, being used as an engaged tool. I really like to see it rather than this last-ditch effort to survive. Sinister Crab finding his kills, but Fonin's taken down 2. Fonin's taken down 3 with the minigun. What a wraparound right there from the minigun. And from Gamblers as a whole, with that nice reposition to stall out the timer and assume a really good position for that team fight.
Right, and as a good general rule of thumb, when the clock on the point has reached 9 o'clock, so when it's 3/4 of the way done, if you just wipe the team, they have no chance of coming back and sealing. They don't even have time to respawn and touch the point on most maps. So you can obviously run away by now, and you can go to C if you really wanted to. Just make sure, you know, there's no light on another team ratting you.
Well, if they went to C right now,
100%.
If they went to C right now, they'd see it probably be quite busy. Obviously, Resit going in for that steal against Crutches. Crutches have positioned themselves well above this point, but it has been dropped all the way now, so there is less option for delay or for denial. The steal is going to be attempted, or rather baited, as the dome goes out, and that dome may be going a little bit to waste there, as it unfortunately doesn't really bait out much in terms of utility. Crutches finally died. They go straight on in with that shack. Whereas out, really making it work. Bronx with the double barrel finds Temi Tim, and it's just a formality here as Yoip once again takes out Kepo. Yet again, a perfect wipe from all 3 members of Crutches. They're making a habit of this.
I was just gonna say something similar. Yeah, their fights are clean. They choose who they want to kill, and they all win their ones very quickly. Nobody's left.
They really back themselves, and they've really got a good set of weaponry to specifically win ones as well. Like, you've got the Serb, you've got the double barrel. Usually not especially great for multiple kills chained together, but you know, if you hit your 2 or 3 shots, then you're as good as golden, and they're really making it work. The shack as well is a much more kind of like gung-ho approach for a heavy to take, you know, against the more reliable options, like anything that has more than, what, 20 rounds in the chamber. But yeah, they're really working this playstyle and advertising it, honestly. I think it's a neat little sort of niche they found.
Like you said, you're not popping bubbles, you're not doing any damage to walls or anything with the shack, so it's definitely a one-on-one engagement type of gun. But it looks like we are going to get into this fight. We're going to expect most likely a pad up, and that is exactly what's going to happen. That DMAP pad is going to come in and instantly frying YOLO. He is not going to see the light of day, and it looks like it's going to be a 3-on-1 for the defending team. They are going to find this last light, and that shack is going to make quick work of him. That is going to be the wipe on the side of Resit. And successfully holding and securing first after this. I just noticed how split these boxes are. I'm not sure, and staggered. I'm not sure what's going on the other side of the map, but this is already more than halfway done. We only have 40 seconds left in this match.
Yeah, Vault 6 doesn't look like it's going to be in play at all, because obviously this is the last cash out available, unless it can get ferried over to A really quickly. It looks as though Gamblers are going for that. They are actually the team in first right now, so they're basically guarding it for a confirmed second place, which is an interesting move. We're just watching now as Godlike Gamer attempt to secure that first place finish by defending, but at the moment they're coming under considerable pressure from Yoik. Yet another serve in the lobby, and you know, you were yearning to see this weapon, SDN. It's really out in force right now, and here comes the shot to try and clear that gas and make use of its fire potential. Unfortunately, he has to fall off of it. He can't get the steal. In come Gamblers to grief and make sure that they secure that second place spot. But Godlike Gamer are the recipients of that fortune. A great bit of momentum they gathered towards the end of that game.
Right, you'll see and you'll see Gamblers successfully stopping that split or double, so securing their second spot. We'll see the kills here in a second, just to see the dispersion of everybody and see how everyone's doing. But that was a nice map one to, you know, low kill count. Everyone's kind of spread. No one doing significantly better or worse. I'm liking how the introductory game went. On these teams.
And Gamblers doing quite well with that second place finish. Of course, Resit unfortunately languishing down the bottom, despite a decent effort in terms of kills, keeping pace with the rest of the lobby to a decent extent, especially with Kepo as their sub. He's a sub, but he's definitely part of the squad. You know, he's got that Resit in his name. Definitely one of the gang. In fact, the two main players don't. So maybe they're the subs. I don't know. No, that's not what's happening. But either way, great.
He was the manager.
Yeah, that could be it. Great showing from Godlike Gamer, getting that first place finish. Very important for them because they currently sit at the bottom of the pack besides Resit, who are essentially out of the running for a top 8 finish. Godlike Gamer, it's maybe within their grasp, and they've started perfectly to try and accomplish that.
Right. And we have 3 more games left in this 4 game, and once again, two of the teams at the top towards the 11th and I'm sorry, the 9th and 10th team, very close on overtaking the 7th and 8th. So we will see, you know, which teams can hold out to the end, which teams can fight on this last day of the PHL Split 2, and get ready for our next bracket starting next week.
Yeah, that's what it's all about right now. In case you're unaware as well, we just quickly mention the playoff format. We've been doing a whole load of groups in cash outs, and when it goes to the playoffs, we have a double elimination bracket, and it's all 3v3s, all final round formats, and perhaps a lot of the pros have been sort of waiting and licking their lips for that moment as well. So it'll be very exciting to see a very different format and a very different type of gameplay. But it's still the finals. The best teams will still most likely come out on top. Cartoonist getting us started here as we're watching Godlike Gamer try and defend their first place finish, try and follow through with it. With the first Monaco that we've seen today, by the way. Yoik getting 2 kills there. 4 crutches. Godlike Gamer left in a bit of a problematic situation. Best has to do exactly that right now to rescue this, but whereas out is more than equal to him. That Shack burst him down. We see Crutches get that first tap. On the other side, we see a wipe as well on the side of Resit. So, what's that? Gamblers in control.
And I wanted to highlight a little bit of the play that just happened on the side of Crutches. That Vanish Bomb triple jump pad up. Still had enough time, or still had the art of surprise, even though that is a set spawn right on this map. When that vault is there, that is a set spawn, and the team that has access to flat top always gets there first and always has high ground. So being able to jump pad there and having the wherewithal to keep that invis bomb ready and prime, all 3 of them jumping up, really netted them success there. But now we're going to see another fight break out in the middle of the streets. Gamblers and Resit really trying to get possession of this plug, and it looks like Godlike Gamers is in there too. I'm seeing a lot of different colors here. And they are fighting for this box control. A lot of shots going off. That's 2 kills off the side of Cartonis. And he is going to not have the box. It looks like it was stolen away. So a lot of fighting for not. That vault is going to be completely split.
Godlike Gamer did well there, but of course, yeah, Keppo now is just doing scouting from quite far afield. Godlike Gamer deciding, well, actually, they're umming and ahhing about this. They look like they were heading towards B, but decide, no, we are going to go to A. Maybe it favors them a little bit more. What they don't know is that Keppo is right behind them, ready to stab them in the back. It's unlikely that he'll pull the trigger. He's very, very much more likely to wait for that gap to close and get a more reliable sandwich or, I suppose, pincer maneuver. They wouldn't have called it the sandwich maneuver because the Earl of Sandwich invented the sandwich back in the 1700s, and we had pincers for far longer than that. Just look at any scorpion. They've been around for ages. Sinister Crab also's got pincers, and unfortunately for YOLO2D, he finds those pincers right around his neck because I think he was AFK or disconnecting. Very unfortunate there. The steal will be seen through before we get to a pause because, of course, that is the rules, and we have to allow that to happen. Got a pause coming in, though. At the moment, Gamblers look like they've defended their cash out very smartly over on B in Grandma's house. And I suppose this is a decent place to pause. We can really assess the lay of the land right now, particularly the 6 kills on Gamblers that's belonging to only one player. I'm assuming that's Kiriki. Wow.
The medium. I was not expecting that. Normally your damage dealers are the light and heavy, but having I assume FAMAS on this map, he's been cooking. But yeah, it looked like actually Crutches wiped, so they are going to lose that point on B. They will not be in first, but however, they will be somewhat happy with 5K in the bank already, just culminating from those 4 kills and the tap and plug. So the boxes are still very split. We know that the first box is going to be done right around the time that this gets unpaused, and they have the option, whichever team, I believe it's the Live Wires, correct, that are over there right now? Pink team?
Yeah, Gamblers are the ones that are stealing. That's Kiriki, obviously. We were talking about him.
Right.
He's the one who's managed to basically sweep Crutches under the bus. That's not what you do with dirt. Under the rug. That's... yeah, and...
Right, so they have the option to hike it all the way to the other side of the map to get 2 boxes off the first double plug.
There we go. And unless there's some sort of, you know, real Benny Hill music type shenanigans over on B, we can safely assume that they will get that steal. You know, I'm talking about like a crazy gas mine, explosive mine combo that wipes the whole team or something like that. That's basically the only danger. Of course, that doesn't happen. Gamblers are very safe with it and get the steal. And it looks as though, timing-wise, Godlike Gamer are in a pretty secure position to defend their cash out, but there has been a decent spawn here from Resi.
They do have a fight here, and they're playing very far back, so you can assume they have a gateway or a pad ready to counter this. They are going to pad out. It looks like the heavy did not make it, but that winch unfortunately missed. He is going to go down for that, and we are going to see what's... It looks like YOLO killing somebody with the gas barrel, I believe that is.
Yeah, Best is just getting over here to make sure that there's no shenanigans behind them. Resi have managed to revive their team, but I think that has been well kited by Godlike Gamer. They've bought enough time. This is a difficult enough point as it is when it's only a few seconds left. That gas will do the damage. Best secures it with the gas, goes in to deal a little bit of extra damage to make sure. Best even comes out with a second kill from that gas grenade or gas mine as Keppo walks into the fart cloud.
I'm seeing a lot of gas mines recently, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Not a fan?
Not a fan of mines.
No, I think they're interesting, but I do think the gas is a definite, like, it's in a strong position right now. I would like to see more gas grenades. I think gas grenades are very exciting. You know, that's an exciting way of playing. Gas mines is like kind of set and forget. Maybe it's a little bit easier to maximize. You can even get very lucky kills off of them, as you know. Maybe there's a bit more skill expression in a well-placed nade. Who's to say? But either way, let's get back into the action right now. The plug is successful for Crutches, and that will put them in a decent spot, but this transition is not strong. Best and Cartonis really collapsing on them very nicely. The zip up from the medium is going to be able to actually kill Cartonis with that quick one-pump melee, and he gets Best as well. Sinister Crab doing absolute bits here, in a position to try and stick a res as well, and he might have done enough to do something. Unfortunately, the steal was successful, though. So Crutches, or rather, the steal wasn't successful. Crutches have that point still in their hands.
Right, and it looks like we have a third from Gamblers coming in, actually gambling this third. No teams were wiped. It was a full reset on both sides. I believe everybody's alive right now. And now Crush still has possession of the box, so they're in the best spot. They're trying to make the two teams fight and just get out of their way. But it looks like Godlike Gamer are actually going for the other point. So they completely just walked past, and now Gamblers waiting to hear shots and waiting to hear the third. That's what they're doing right now. They're waiting, but nobody's there. So they have to get in there. They have to do something about this point. They recognize that, and they finally realize that they need to push and find where Crushes is holding.
I think they spotted a little glimmer of movement in that house. A nice spot to try and steal from. The mesh shield comes out because, of course, if it gets dropped, he can continue the steal, but he decides it's better to come off and go for those kills, get to the yoink. Incredible stuff from Kiriki. We're really seeing the Cerberus come into its own this game. Another, though, and Kiriki is now in a difficult 1 versus 2 situation. Bronx will clean him up. In fact, the defib was successful, but Folin taken out there by Bronx. The DB is the one left standing. On the other side of things, Reset left in what looks like a 2 versus 3 as their point is stolen by Godlike Gamer. They once again fall into that last place position. I do believe this will probably be enough for that cash out that we just left, but D is certainly still up there for the taking. Okay.
Right, there's a lot of scrapping going on right now. That was a lot of D-mats, a lot of winches, a lot of shots. We are going to have, it looks like Cartonis,
Cartonis
coming out on top here.
Oh, wow.
The one, the third.
3 kills for Cartonis, the man with the biggest cojones. And there is Crutches jumping on in to try and steal. They're going full send here with the shield, with the mesh shield as well, but they have to fall off. The pressure from Godlike Gamer is too much. Cartonis racks up even more kills. That's 5 in the space of 30 seconds from the XP playing light. And that is D secured. Wow, what exceptional play from him.
And you can just see the point difference in kills just reflected by the score. I mean, right now,
Jesus,
they're at what, 22 within 9 minutes. That's a lot for these kind of games against these calibers of players.
They've shown up today.
So we're gonna be 100%. This is their bracket right now. It's theirs to lose.
They have a mountain to climb as well in the standings, so it's a very important thing that they are doing as well as they are. Kiriki, though, is putting them in their place briefly, taken down by Sinister Crab, but then Sinister Crab felled by Foden. That is a wipe onto Godlike Gamer, so they're not invincible. We know that much for certain now. Gamblers have gotten a cash out started on the other side of the map. This will be a considerable stagger, SCN.
For sure, and I'm not sure if it will even get plugged at this time because we have a team holding it. And one team actually making a really good rotation into connector right now, or con, and hitting a pad. The pad dash, one of the first dashes I've seen on EU. So his heavy is going to go down, but he will secure that plug on the other vaults over there.
Yeah, and only one player on Crutches means they're quite happy to leave their position and go for something else. Crutches, in fact, only other player is pestering the vault for some reason, and that is a wipe. Weirdly, they were split across the map there, as you mentioned. Godlike Gamer get that plug once again and get it started. It is about halfway behind the pace, though, so this would be interesting, especially because we're right now watching Reset going straight for it rather than the cash out that has a bit more time of that. So they do have the D-map, so they can try and engage through the rooftop, but we only have a minute left in this map, STN. It's going to all come down to these last couple of cash outs.
Right, there's going to be a lot of indoor fighting right now. You'll see the team that owns the objective playing off it, letting the two teams fight. Meanwhile, I believe that's Godlike Gamer just sitting pretty with theirs. I'm sorry, Gambler sitting pretty with theirs. They're going to secure second, if not first with this.
It does depend on how this last point goes, and it looks like the steal is going to be attempted by Temi Tim. Winches it into position, but unfortunately not aware of the top-down angle. Yoit and he wander through. Bronx takes him out, though, as well, and that is almost Reset out for the count. Warasau now in a bit of a scrap as well. Both the teams that are looking to steal are worse for wear. Godlike Gamer have recovered quite well at the moment. They are 3 up. They are around their point. It is getting stolen, but it has been dematted down. Another attempt as the bullets rain in from Warasau. The steal is going to be attempted here from Crutches. They just can't stand the heat. Foden and Kiriki gamble on it all. And look at the rain of coins that they've been rewarded with. That was a fiery ending to our Monaco.
Definitely a crazy Monaco ending. I've seen many points split very far across the map, and a lot of people just playing high ground, but no, everybody was there. Everybody came to play. And even if they didn't come out on top, they can leave this day knowing that they fought their hardest.
Well, let's have a look at those standings. And we were checking in on the kills. Kiriki out of nowhere got 14 kills towards the end of that game. What is happening there? That is madness from the Gamblers Medium. But apart from that, we just have to look at Godlike Gamer and say, holy moly, right? That's a lot of kills. I'm so bad at maths. 27?
27.
Wow.
Yeah, 27 to 20 to, what is that, 16?
Mm-hmm.
And then 12. So it's a very, very different from our first game. Our first game, nobody surpassed 6, I believe.
Yeah. And
so a lot more of that introductory game, and then now we're just, everybody's warm.
Yeah, everybody's warm. Everyone's firing on all cylinders, but it hasn't changed the standings at all in terms of the teams coming first to fourth in map number 1, Sis Horizon, exactly the same order in map number 2. And that suits Godlike Gamer down to the ground. 2 first place finishes in a row in the situation they're in is absolutely crucial. And Gamblers not far behind Crutches in 3rd so far. It's a little bit rough because, of course, all of these teams have dropped into that bottom 4 right now. I don't have the mental capacity nor the maths skills to work it out on the fly. But I'm guessing that Godlike Gamer and Gamblers are the ones that are closing in on those spots. That being said, Godlike Gamer did have a much bigger hill to climb, so it could literally be anyone besides Resit, which is what we were saying before we came into the day, and I'm here for it. Godlike Gamer will get another choice of map. They liked they liked Monaco. It's the first Monaco we saw today. Where do you think they might go, just before it's revealed to us? And before you read the chat, because it is in chat.
I have no insider information at all.
No?
So I'm
Okay.
going to say Seoul, because I haven't seen Seoul one time today. So
See, now that's the caster brain coming out, right? You're like, oh, I want to see all the maps. Yeah, I want to see the entertainment. Unfortunately, you have to play spoiler. It is as close to Seoul as you could get, to be fair. We've got Fortune Stadium coming up right now. And that is, of course, Godlike Gamer's map pick. Cartoon is acting as captain for them right now. And pretty good shift as well. Even as a sub, technically, on the roster. Really doing a great job instead of Ozzy Punto.
Yeah, they're going to take what we call the God Zip, and the Serb is just going to get right in there. That's what I like to see. We're going to see the Bub come out. Him calling that the heavy is low. They're going to 100% key the heavy down. YOLO's going to attempt to get the fib.
He missed the defib.
He did. He's going to miss it again. Nope, he's farming his teammate. But the light is going to come in. Hopefully he's going to be dealt with. Nope, he's going to get away. The heavy does get farmed. It is a 3-on-1, just the light. Let's see if they can get rid of him quickly enough. Yep, that's it. That's a very quick wipe. That money is going to be plugged very quickly because of that gateway. And on the other side of the map, I believe they are still running. I believe they stopped fighting and just started running the box. Yes.
Yeah, must have been a decent bit of running or maybe a nice gateway in there. Either way, Gamblers, specifically DW, taking full advantage of that situation to get his shift on and get going. Quite literally, just hold down shift and go. So, top-down defense coming out from Gamblers, as we see at the moment Crutches trying to nibble at their toes from underneath. DMAC to bring them down, but unfortunately Wurazawa takes the meat of an RPG, has to back on up, no heal beams in this meta, has to wait for that. Bronx and Yoip all very low HP, but Yoip does find that kill onto his opposite number, or rather the light on DW. Yoip taken out though by Folan. We've got a bit of an asymmetrical 2 versus 2 here. Bronx finds the finisher onto Kiriki, and now it's a 2 versus 1. Looks as though this defense is going to be quite difficult here for Gamblers, as of course this res will come through. DW forced back, the coin is up, and I think they might find an opening, but maybe they want to secure a few more kills before they start tapping that vault.
Gamblers having Defender's coin is going to benefit them greatly because of all this gas and stall that they were able to put on the point beforehand. Let's see if this steal goes through. A few more seconds. The C4 is going to drop them. It stops it. And that is an immaculate stall, getting 2 coins in. 3. Yep.
Huge, and the coin economy really hampered there. They're putting in the damage as well. Gamblers with the huge uppercut, the big swing back to finish off that team, and of course wiping out Crutches in the process. Very nice stuff. We see Resit spawning back in to try and tackle Godlike Gamer after their first attempt of doing so was a lot less successful. Keppo down to 1 HP. Cartoons will finish him off at range. Here's the defib, interestingly, to go straight for the point. I would have really honestly kept that on cooldown if I were him, gone for the long res. But either way, they're going to move on out to B as soon as they can get a safe journey across.
Right, and Temmie Tim being on winch is not going to aid them in this cross. They are going to get chipped. However, it looks like Temmie Tim padded off the map. I think he bumped his head on the side after taking the pad, and it just pushed him off.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, they were not in a full 3v3 in that. But the serve getting chipped in the way in, it was not a fun fight for them.
Godlike Gamer taking a lot of damage here, but I think the timer has done its job, and Crutches are just a little bit late to the party there. They can't get that steal. Now, there was an interesting moment. I want to kind of pick your brains on this while we're waiting for this next wave of engagements and vaults to be tapped. As Resit were trying to cross, I've seen a nice couple of teams go for this interesting tech where you head to one of the staircases in that building, place down the jump pad, demat, and then jump straight across into the building that way. And it does a few things. It gives you a good position when you land, and it gives you more cover on the approach because they only know it's happening as soon as you demap.
Right, you'll see that a lot on Soul as well, in that exact same spot on the Soul equivalent of a hospital and clinic. We call the closer building clinic. You'll see that exact same thing, and there's also been new tech with it's not really tech, but just using pad and dash with light, because we see a lot more lights in NA. So you'll see, and into gateway.
Yeah.
So you'll throw the gateway down, dash pad, and then throw gateway for your 2 as you use the rest of your dashes to get to safety on the side. But that's definitely a very good thing instead of just taking those very obvious triangle pads where you have no cover at all.
Maybe we'll see a bit more of it as time goes on, particularly when it comes to the 3v3s, and you really have to nail those engages because there's no room for error. But we're still in the cash out format as it stands. Bronx landing a few meaty shots onto his opposite number, but Gambler's still standing strong as it stands. And looking to re-engage up the staircase, never a wise move. DW will chew through his opposition. Kiriki finding a res, but at the moment, actually, Crutches being in a really tough spot. Kiriki does find that kill as well in a 1 versus 2. Surprised that he managed to get away with that. Of course, he's the one attacking right now, so it behooves Gamblers to waste as much time as possible. That is exactly what the Heavy is going to do by kiting away.
Right, we did see a lot of damage be done on the medium and heavy as they were getting up the stairs. Not much done on the light, so when the DB came in expecting to one-shot him, he wasn't hurt at all. So he had to waste time while his teammates were dying trying to chase him. Meanwhile, this steal is most likely going to go through.
Wow. What?
It does go through. The DMAT was not good, and he did manage to cling on. So they are going to be in a very good spot now. 1 up, 2 up in this fight against Gamblers. They're going to try and find the last. He does get served immediately, and if I'm Crutches right now, I'm running to D. I want to get kills. I want to get tempo. I want to make sure everybody's wiped so that I have a free plug for the next box.
Bizarrely, that only just puts them into second place ahead of Crutches because of just how well they've been doing up to this point. So Crutches have afforded themselves a little bit of a buffer. Oh, right, not Crutches, sorry. Gamblers have afforded themselves a little bit of a buffer. We are watching Crutches right now as they tried to take down the last players defending that point, but couldn't find the time. Godlike Gamer still in the ascendancy, 31k, a good 10k ahead of any other team in the lobby. But of course, his final cash out, as we all know, is worth way more than that.
Right, getting into these last boxes. Godlike Gamer attempting to split. They know that doubling it would secure or make sure that they, don't get first, potentially. They definitely want this split, so they are going to 3v3 Crutches right here. Who has the high ground, knows where they're at. They do not know where Crutches is. So we're going to... It looks like that box is going to make it out. And that one kill is going to keep that guy lock bolted. He's going to die to that. The lock bolt giving him away. So that is going to be a 2-on-2, I believe. But
Lockbot was just a proxy alarm with extra effects. It's yeah, it does so much more. And
it keeps you proxied.
Yeah, you don't get to lead. Crutches finding that plug as well to put them in the lead as it stands. Resit are the ones that are actually going to be plugging on A as they fend off the gamblers and bring it down to them. They are not in the position where they are well set, but they have managed to unseat some of the gamblers, so they should be good to defend that. In the meantime, this is a much quicker engage coming out from Crutches onto the Insurgent Godlike Gamer, who are doing decently to fight back. Looks like a 1 versus 2 here, maybe, as that player coins in. Oh, the defib is huge, though. You're taken out, but Cartonis now has to escape very quickly. Does so with the aid of the gateway, but he's now in a little bit of a rough situation. His teammates need to coin in. They are guarding those totems. That is a wipe. Bronx finishes him off. And let's head on over to Cash Out A for a moment while we see whether Resit can hold on to this A point.
Yeah, we have the fight going on right now. It's going to be 2 down on the side of Resit. And that is all 3. That ARN, the new gun of the season, putting in work, recently buffed as of Thursday.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was already good.
It was an alternative to the MP5, a little bit more range, you know, a little bit more ammo count, but it's doing its job.
It's exciting to see more of a new weapon, to be fair. I don't mind guns like the minigun, like the ARN, coming in a little bit overtuned, and then, you know, maybe receiving a nerf at some point down the line if it's too much. But yeah, give us the new toys and let's play with them. That's what I say. Anyway, here we go. A little bit of repositioning from gamblers as they go underneath. Of course, they've got that DMAT and the C4 and all sorts of tools for trying to bring this down if they need it. They've got the jump pad set underneath. It looks like Godlike Gamer have smelt this, though, and are engaging from above them in the stairway. Kiriki decides to bail. He knows it's going to get a little bit too hot there. As we take a little bit of a bird's eye view, that cash out is bouncing right now, and everyone is split up, trying to take their ones as it stands. Decent positioning. Sinister Crab does take out that that bounce pad so that it's a little bit easier, but his teammate has gone down to grab the totem, but he's getting chased and he has the mesh shield, has to drop the totem in the meantime. Kepo finishes the job. Looks as though Resit are doing a decent job, but that steal was successful in the direction of Gamblers. Gamblers now defending for their lives after, well, we're only 8 seconds left now, and that cash out will bounce. It will be successful for Gamblers. Crutches way out ahead. Kiriki gets 3 kills for good measure. 3 of them are melees. What? He just went around with a haymaker at the very end.
He was making sure, even though he was backed into a corner, he knew his job. He knew what he wanted to do. He was not going out without a fight. And it's nothing but respect.
I want to see that from Kiriki's perspective. This is where I really wish we had replays. We could get the triple melee kill on camera.
We will at LAN. But anyway, that's going to conclude map 3. It looks like, just judging by the score, once again, Cartona's just going crazy on his light. Definitely the best fragger in the lobby, but the Serbs actually showing up as well from Yoip and YOLO coming in, you know, one-shotting, two-shotting the skinnier, the squishiers, the squishy people.
The skinny people.
The skinny people.
Yeah. Interestingly as well there, we finally see Godlike Gamer give up their first place finish that they've been getting by tradition so far, swapping places with Crutches, who get that first place finish. Gamblers again in second, Resit again in fourth. So, an interesting day so far, honestly. I think that's going to suit, well, no one. Everyone would have wanted to perform better, I think. Besides
we're all
Crutches,
getting up there.
Yeah, they're all getting up there. But Crutches, you know, have they left it a little bit too late with these, you know, 2 third-place finishes and a first? I don't want to do the maths. We're just going to find out at the end of map 4, which will be Vegas, as decreed by the Crutches. So, final map on Vegas. I always love Vegas. I think it's a really exciting map, no matter what happens there. And in fact, we even have the regular version of Vegas back in rotation now, alongside Vegas Stadium, which I think is pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it's a good.
Though, right? it's always Vegas
I don't
Stadium
think
here.
so.
I mean in World Tour
Ranked
and that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in Quick Cash. I played it the other day and I was surprised because I did not read that part on the patch notes. But yeah, I like what they're doing with the maps. I enjoy the different versions of the same. You know, with all the up, down, left, right, floating structures, things like that. It's and then just bringing back the map. I'm sure some people wanted it back, so it's nice that they listen to the community a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I'm just my worry was that they'd bring it back and add it to the rotation, and then not adjust the like the play rate, so that you're twice as likely to get Vegas. Essentially, I don't think that's what's happened. Thankfully, they've probably just like halved the play rate of each one, so it's like, you know, you get a half a chance that it's normal or otherwise. We are keeping an eye on chat, by the way. Thank you very much for all these crazy copy passes. Keep them coming. I absolutely love them. Either way. Final map of the day, final cash out of EU in Pro Hubs Season 0. Very exciting to see it come out. And honestly, this has been the most competitive group so far. And I cannot wait to get started here as Resic take a brunt of the beating from Warazal. But that lock-on from Temitin really causing problems. And in fact, look at him slingshotting around the room. Bronx just trying to escape, doing his dashing, doing his dodging, but it's not enough, and the guns finally put him down. But in fact, no, it was a lovely punch. The one punch from YOLO 2D.
To the back of the head.
Yep.
And it looks like these two teams... Looks like Gamblers and Godlike Gamers going... I couldn't even speak before the fight was over. That was so much damage from the minigun and the Serb. They found each other, and once they did, they immediately interlocked. And they just destroyed them.
Yeah, some rapid opening fights on both sides of the cloth. And cash out A will be where... there we go, there's a slow burn. Cash out A will be on its way for the Gamblers. We do have a saying over here, is that this is Gamblers' map. They love Vegas. It's their home turf. And the stats do reflect that, weirdly. I think they've only ever come first or second on this map. So we expect them to turn up the heat a little bit. They've come second all day today so far, but unfortunately they are coming second to Crutches as it stands, with the wipe going the way of the less abled folks. That's not a PC joke. I shouldn't do that again. Here we go. Let's head on over to Cash Out B and forget that ever happened.
So over on Cash Out B, we're going to have the Scar putting in work. I believe that was a gas mine being primed. And Sinister Crab going to be... Is that an anonymous name? No, he has a...
I think his name is actually Sinister Crab. But it really does look like a... It's got anonymous name vibes, you know?
It does, but he has the clan tag, so...
So it has to be real.
It's not... it's real. I didn't know if they could do that in this. Anyway,
I
it looks like Gamblers is going to spawn.
I want a whole team of imposing Dash and, you know, like all these default names. Like, it'd be really funny.
Big Feet or some weird stuff.
Big Feet. I wish Big Feet was a default name. I would take it. I would use it.
FEAT is in there, so you can do it that way you will. It's not the same thing, but
that's
you can
true.
just say it.
Yeah, maybe it's like stinky feet or something. Who knows? Large feet. I'm gonna go cooking later when surely there's a wiki with all of these down. Anyway, we've got a cash out that's almost completed by Godlike Gamer because they've done such a good job kiting away from the Gamblers that the Gamblers have decided, you know what? Yeah, you win that. We have no business here.
We don't know anything of where you're at. We don't know what you have on the point. You have gas over there. You can have it. Like, you deserve it.
This cast is starting to go off the rails. I love it. Kepo doing a decent job of taking out his opposition, but unfortunately it doesn't look like they have much time to get the steal. The DMAT is not going to be enough for you, mate. He's just waiting for his teammates to coin. Crutches have defended this point very nicely. Press it. Well, Kepo decides it's better to wipe in this situation. And we get started on the third wave of Volks with Godlike Gamer and Crutches not far behind in first and second.
I was very happy to see Crutches take the last map, and I'm happy that they're being more competitive on the second half of these 4 games. They've been doing great so far, and if they can take another game here, that will definitely help their seeding for next week. Looks like both vaults are getting ran right now. Looks like C is actually being camped by the Gamblers. Let's see if they have a surprise for them. That is a lock bolt, and you do not want to get lock bolted while holding a box. You are just insta-dead, especially with a minigun in your face. So that is going to be the first death, probably the second. Oh, the heavy gets around with 1 HP and he gets to live, but the plug goes through anyway for Crutches, and they are going to be trying to search for him. This last man.
The Jets have been scrambled. They're looking after Devil's Work, or DW as he's changed his name to. In the meantime, we're just going to keep an eye on Folin apparently, just to see, does some renovations to some like home decor. He can dress this whole area up as much like whatever he wants.
Right, 2 teams are wiped, so there's going to be a little bit of peace in the arena. But we can see where the teams are going to spawn in.
Yoip with
in a
6
second
kills. It's nice. He's outdoing anyone by a factor of 2, which is very impressive to see on the medium. Cerberus
Very
builder.
nice.
Even on Vegas as well, which is one of the more sort of long-range engagement maps. That cash out will tumble 2 floors, and it does have a whole load of flashing doodads on it, but unfortunately for YOLO2D, those are detonated at range, and the jump pad is going to be needed to engage up top. Unfortunately, this is not ideal territory for the Cerberus, but a conveniently placed heal canister will afford him some respite. Kepo, unfortunately, has been taken down in this HMM comp that we are interested to see right now. Folin taken out as well, and now it's looking like a 2 versus 1, and that defib is huge coming out from Kiriki. Great follow-up though from YOLO2D, and it looks as though they will get the kill onto Folin. Is that a coin in the distance? It looks like it was from the Light, who can play time successfully, but Godlike Gamer jumping in on the action right now. They are spoiling Reset's party. It looks like they've done such a great job at wiping their opposition there, and now they have an opportunity to get this steal, but Godlike Gamer, they're not done. They come in. Oh, great cover there from Sinister Crab. And now it's Kiriki's turn to try and deny it, but the steal is successful for Godlike Gamer. With only about 20 seconds left on the timer, the Dome Shield comes out. There could be an opportunity to steal yet again. Glitch comes out. They do have a Mesh Shield in play, but Godlike Gamer have a Mesh Shield of their own. They're closing in. The stick is attempted, but Bronx is there to deny it. Yoip as well with the shotguns, and the steal is attempted once more, but he realizes there's probably not enough time, not enough cover. The cash out goes the way of Godlike Gamer.
Right, it felt like that was a playground for Crutches right there, coming in as the 4th party, just absolutely gunning everybody down as they're all on cooldown and very low in HP. So that was very well done, and they do secure first by a few kills just off of that, even though they were down kills before. And now with Godlike Gamer and Gamblers coming off of wipes, they're gonna have tempo and possession of the box. Let's see what teams opt to do, if they want to double this. If we had a little bit of craziness on the last map of the last bracket, but these guys are all seriousness. They just want smoke and professionalism. We respect that over here on the caster side.
Our final wave of votes, our final cash outs of the EU season. Temi Tim caught in a horrible position, but he does have that Mesh Shield to bail him out, and the crazy God Zip across the map. Lots of kills raining in from all directions here. Kiriki turns and burns Temi Tim, who really needed a bit more health than that going into that engagement. Kiriki will fall up into the rooftop. I don't think you can fall up, but I guess this is the finals. Anything is possible. We have anti-grab.
There are grab cubes.
Yeah, exactly. So you can fall up. Kiriki, though, is going to be bouncing up at the moment, hitting his head on the roof.
Oh, he doesn't have a
DMAT for some reason.
He doesn't have a DMAT.
Oh, I thought he was off cooldown.
Now he has a DMAT. He's going to be trying to survive, doing as much damage as he can before he gets taken out, and that is a very successful defense from Crutch. Oh, offense from Crutches. They are going to be... Wow, they came over from A.
Oh my
actually.
God. Okay, well, but Reset have read the room and have decided to go back and steal what was once now Crutch's cash out. But the C4 from across the map preset will buy them time. Will it buy them enough time, though? That is the question. Unfortunately, looks like it's not. They have the time to stick a second attempted steal, as no one is anywhere near them. Reset, unfortunately, as it stands, would only claim 3rd place. They need to get a couple more kills to their name to make sure that they get 2nd. So we're going to turn our attention to B, as that looks like it's where everybody is headed. Makes sense, because a lot of these other teams do have an opportunity to try and claim 1st place. Gamblers are so far behind, though, uncharacteristically for Vegas. They may be playing for only a 2nd place spot themselves right now. Crutches are defending this point. They are falling back as far as they can. Warzel taken out, though. That is the heavy. A lot of stall potential gone and dusted. That is the winch out of play. DW taken out, though, for Gamblers means that the attack is a little bit weaker than it should be. The steal is being attempted. That glitch comes out from Godlike Gamer to protect B. How gracious of them, protecting Crutches' cash out. Crutches are nowhere to be seen right now. There we go. In they come. Yoip finds one, Yoip finds two, and the surge is real. They are at full strength defending this cash out. No hope in a million years for Godlike Gamer or Gamblers to claim this back. And the final cash out, the final map of this entire season goes to Crutches. You there?
Yeah.
He's speechless. He's speechless, ladies and gents. STN is speechless.
You kind of gave like the send off, you know? Like I didn't know. I don't think anybody can say anything after that. That was amazing.
Don't worry. We're going to come back to our faces
last...
and we got to we got to chat this. We got to chat about this. You know, we casters, we aren't done when the game ends. It's
of course.
Sadly, we got to talk for more. And there are very important things to talk about. So don't go away just yet. There is a giveaway later on, so stick around. But also, let's just
the
take in this map, taking this scoreboard, then taking the standings. Crutches, Yoip with 12 kills, 12 and 3. What a stat line.
Right, Shotgun's just proving to be very good on Vegas. A lot of indoor, a lot of things to hide around and doorways to go through. And he played it very well. Seeing him in the kill feed a lot, especially when thirding, doing his best to one-shot, two-shot all the weekend players already, letting that burn simmer.
They let Stinky Feet in the lobby. This is the evolution of this copy pasta in chat. Thank you, Alphonse. Stupid, honestly. Distracting me, honestly. All right. Resit managed to claw their way off the bottom spot there, which is impressive. They got that third place finish. Obviously, under the expectations that they would have had for this season, finishing in last. But of course, they are still part of the playoffs bracket. We don't have any eliminations at this stage. However, the bottom 4 teams are in the lower bracket. That's best of ones. That's no lives. If you lose, you're out. So we're going to take a final look at the standings in just a minute to see how things go. But before we do that, I'm going to initiate the giveaway process. We have a giveaway today, and all you have to do in chat is type the words stinky feet. Okay, type the words stinky feet and you can be in with a chance of winning the giveaway. Does that work for us, Burrito? Yeah, just getting the word from our producer. Yeah, that works for you. Excellent. All right, so stinky feet in chat, and we will pick a name or pick a number in a few minutes time. But while we're waiting for that, Burrito, I also need a word from you. In fact, I'm just gonna have a chat with my producer. Is the standings ready? No, they are not. But we can take a look at the playoffs, at the bracket. STN, you've obviously got your eyes on these brackets as well, because they're the same for NA.
Mm-hmm.
They are. But I'm not going to ask you about that because we're looking at the standings now instead. Here we go.
Oh, and these are the finalized numbers.
Excellent. The finalized numbers. Godlike Gamer, no matter how well they played today, a couple of first place finishes couldn't rest out of that 11th place spot. But importantly, Divine Dead did enough to surpass Zesties. That is the big switch around after today's standings. They made it into the top 8. Divine Dead, who honestly, before the split, looked down and out. They climbed out of 11th position, I believe, with some impressive plays. A slightly new look roster as well, bringing in Newark and Hard XDN. And they've been a different team. They really performed out of their socks today. And look at that. It's just made all the difference. Crutches as well, doing well enough to to keep themselves in this with their performance. 2 first-place finishes that we've just witnessed on Fortune Stadium and Vegas. And this is our top 8.
Yeah, and it was around what we thought was going to happen, where the 2 top teams were going. They were only 100, 200 behind. So unless they had nightmares of games, they were able to pass Zesties and NTHX. That was a little bit what we expected. However, I was not expecting Divine Dead to claw their way out and only reaching 8th by 49 points.
And
49 points.
It's crazy how big a difference that is the difference between, for instance, Zesties on their first games today. They came 4th, 2nd, and 3rd if they'd gotten like a single first place finish, that might have been enough to tip them over the edge. If that third place finish had been second instead, that would have been enough. It's deadly close, but you have to hand it to Divine Dead, who came out, they did not lose a single map. Second, third, first, and first across the games in today's group. And they weren't in a easy group either. They were punching up real hard. They were punching against Gungala, Burnt Nuggets, Aimers Blue. They fully deserve this.
Right, 100%. Everyone's been doing great, and everything on the EU side, everything that we watched today just proves that how fun this game can be and how many people like really want to just test themselves and be the best and prove it.
Absolutely. So, given that we have our teams laid out before us, we will, of course, have the time to fill out this bracket and post it later on. But just to kind of talk you through it, the players or the teams in those quarterfinals at the very top are going to be everybody besides the teams that are going immediately into the lower round, which are Godlike Gamer, Resit, who else was it? NTHX and Zesties.
Right, and those teams that we just mentioned are going to start on the bottom side of the bracket. That is their round one, and they are going to be in single elim.
Yep.
One game.
Yeah.
And whoever their first opponents are going to be whoever loses their opening games in the quarterfinals on the top half of the bracket.
Yeah.
So it's
absolutely ruthless on that bottom half of the bracket. You really want to stay in the top half. Otherwise, you're out, and that is the end of your season. That being said, it may not necessarily be the exact end of your season, because all of this bracket that we're looking at right now isn't entirely knockouts. It does have a kind of point system behind it, depending on how far you get. So you could make it to the championship playoffs after the regional playoffs, which is also, another stage of kind of reward and prizing and stuff. Like, you don't necessarily get knocked out if you fall out of this bracket, but everyone wants to be the best in EU. Everyone wants to be the best in NA, and that is what this decides. So it's going to be a very exciting weekend. In a week's time from now, we've got half of the show done. This is only EU. In a few hours' time, we've got NA to deal with, and SCN, you'll be playing, won't you?
I will be, yeah. We'll be carrying the brick torch, making sure, realistic, just talking as a player for a second, we don't even have to play to
no, you don't.
Stay first. Not to flex. Yeah, not to flex or nothing.
Bricks are so far ahead that you really don't need to play.
But it will secure us more points because, like we were just saying, that bracket, depending on how we do next week, we will be either secured a bye or just seated higher than everybody else. And we would, we want to prove that we're the best. We know we're the best. So we'll keep going, keep pushing, and keep testing the limits, because I don't think anyone's catching up in today's games.
All right, we are running the numbers for the giveaway that you've all led. Okay. Thank you so much for waiting so patiently for this. Lots of you typed stinky feet in chat, and I just need to confirm a couple of things with my producer. First of all, is it 1,000 multi-bucks that we are giving away? Fantastic. It is 1,000 multi-bucks, $10 in game store. So a nice tasty reward. That's a good bunch of cosmetics you can get yourself. And we're just going to pick a name. And the winner is Flora de Potatis. That is the weirdest name. Flora de Potatis. Congratulations on your giveaway win. You're the proud recipient of 1,000 multi-bucks. So, don't spend it all at once, or do. It's up to you. They're yours. All right. So, SCN, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. I want to thank our sponsor, Broxton, who's done a fantastic, an incredibly generous job of donating to our prize pool. If you wish to donate to the prize pool as well, there are donation links in the description, and any subs, any bits, anything that goes towards this channel does get fed directly into the prize pool as well. So anything you want to do to support that is much appreciated. SCN, this has been your casting debut in EU or in Pro Hubs, and you wouldn't have known it. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. Have you any thoughts about, you know, the gameplay on this side of the pond? Are you scared of anyone in particular when it comes to those championship playoffs, maybe?
Not at all. No, it was good. It was definitely fun to watch. It gives me more of like an insight on, like, you know, because when I was watching them, I wasn't really watching the EU ones just because of the timing and everything being at work. But it, as a player, it definitely makes me like see the game a little bit differently on how teams react to certain things. More importantly than their initial decisions is like how they can react to things, and what, given different situations, the more opportunities and the more options you have really in some of these fights. So it's always nice to learn. It's always nice to grow. It's always nice to keep climbing a ladder. And I just want to, you know, prove that my team is the best.
100%. Well, you have that chance potentially in a couple of weeks' time. So thank you very much again, SCN. It's been an absolute pleasure. I feel like I really had a great time on cast with you. I learned so much as well. I always do when I'm casting alongside players. It's just a great experience for me. And I hope it was as great an experience for everyone at home listening as well. That's going to be it from us in EU for Cash Out. But of course, we have NA coming up in about 3 hours and 45 minutes, excuse me. And then after that, we've got a week break before we head into the regional playoffs to see just who are the best sides in NA and EU. And then a week afterwards, the championship playoffs for the world title. A huge couple of weeks coming up. Don't miss any of it. Make sure you're following this channel because it's all happening right here in the finals right now at Pro Hubs. So we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
Ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.